Welcome to Interceptor Beyond podcast. My name is Arthur, and this is the episode number 13. And this is the Halloween special. And for this Halloween special, I talked to dead Richy Gein of the Bloodsucking Zombies from outer space. He is a perfect person to talk about Halloween and horror movies. We talked about a lot of stuff. The new record that you can order now, meeting Alice Cooper, meeting John Carpenter, childhood scares, music industry, stage props that the fans probably never heard about, and of course horror movies. This is the proper podcast episode, 3 hours long. The first 15 minutes we recorded in a pub, but the surrounding sound was killing it. You know, the sound from the crying kids and screeching forks and knives were killing the mood. So I went to Rich's place and we continued the recording while having a couple of beers. I saw his horror collection, I saw his Alice Cooper collection. You will hear my reaction. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, hit that like button, and tell your friends. Share on social media and support the podcast on Patreon. It takes a lot of time and energy to make this podcast happen, so any help would be appreciated. Anyways, kids, I hope you have a Silver Shamrock's Novelties mask with you because it is time to put it on. Let's talk to Richy.
Hello, I'm Dead Richy Gein, the singer from the Bloodsucking Zombies from outer space, Austrian shock rock band, around since 20 years. I'm the Prince of Darkness in Vienna, kinda.
You are, actually, yes. So, Richy, let's talk immediately with your new record, the Bloodsucking Zombies from outer space, the Decade of Decay Part 2.
Yeah, we just released a best-of album. Actually, it's done over Spam Records, friends of ours. They asked us like half a year ago if we want to celebrate our 20th anniversary with a best-of. And we was totally fine with that. We thought the idea is great, especially because he has a very strong distribution in America, where our albums are not available, and we have quite a couple of fans there too. So we thought that's a great idea. So we have 20 years of B-Set Force on one album, all the songs that we are still playing live and stuff. Yeah, so that's how it happened.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to ask, because usually you were self-producing all your previous albums on your own label, and this time SBAM appeared, but SBAM grew up in the recent years really fast, especially with his festival, and especially when you mentioned US, and you've never toured in US.
No, it never happened. No, unfortunately not. We're always trying, we try really hard, but it's tricky. If you want to have a proper tour, you need promoters, you need gear, you need stuff, you need buses, you need drivers, you need sleeping places. You need visas. So it was
working visas.
So it was
especially hard.
We always get offered 1 or 2 shows, but not a whole tour that it's kind of at least made us kind of even out with what money cost, what it will cost.
And you always try it with some bookers from United States or local ones, or both?
Both. It was mainly friends in other bands like Daniel from the Razor X or Goolsby from the Blitzkid, and people like that, they try to get us over there. But yeah. But I still think it will happen one day.
On this podcast, everything is possible. So because I'm interviewing people all around the world, including United States, and I will ask some people from that part. Who knows?
Definitely. I also think that the best of album, the 2 decades of decay, might be a hint in the right direction. So at least some people over there get to know the zombies. I don't know.
You're a band that deserves to tour America. You're a really good band, visually and musically, and you totally need to be there.
Yeah, I think so too. I also think that, first of all, personally, I really want to be there one day and visit all those places. I want to be the classic tourist, on the Sunset Strip, and I want to visit Ed Gein's grave, and I want to visit Bela Lugosi's grave and stuff like this. So first of all, that would be a major thing to me. And on the other hand, it is a dream for everyone who's starting a band when they're teenagers that one day we're gonna do a US tour. It's just I don't know.
And especially for you as a horror fan, it's a big one, I would guess you would plan your tour based on the graves that you want to visit.
Yeah, the graves and the shops and I don't know. There's so many things that I want to visit and I want to take pictures of, and Yeah.
All right, so
Also, like our former producer David Piribauer, who did all these Finnish Things album, he was living in LA for a couple of years, and he always said, "You really need to go there. There's like the audience that we want to reach is basically in America. Like they are so much more into horror and Halloween and all this thing. It's so much bigger than in Europe. So like if you take a look on Rob Zombie, for example, he's huge in the US. He's like half the size in Europe.
exactly. And I mean, Rob Zombie has a whole army of fanatical fans. Like you too also have it, like the army of zombies thing.
Yeah, it's our fan club. Yeah, it's the army of zombies.
You can join the army of zombies if you go on the website, and there's like a small button there, and you can join it. And I checked it out. I mean, I didn't join because you need to send it by post, but I didn't have enough time.
No, but I didn't want to compare ourselves with Rob Zombie. Of course, he's huge. But what I just meant is that somehow the mainstream audience there is more open towards horror and Halloween stuff and whatever. It's just more in their culture than it is in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all the horror movies, they have such a history of horror movies there. Like, not only movies, but in general, the how it's called, the genre? Yeah, it's huge there. And Halloween in general. It's part of the big part of the culture. So, by the way, with the Decades of Decay, did you do the album cover?
Yes, I did the album cover.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you love this because it's funny because when you write that's how did you write who made the album cover then again
It's Gein graphics.
Graphics, and I'm like, because I was tired, I was googling like what's a Gein graphics, who is that?
Now that's me. I did all the zombies artworks, most of them.
Yeah.
And I always used the name Gein graphics.
And I figured it out when I checked out the previous albums, because there's a small. By the way, what's the hidden track on this album? There's a hidden track there, right?
Yeah, but it already got spoiled by Spam Records.
That's why I know about it, because they even wrote a hidden track. That's cool.
It is Rainy Season. It's a song that was already a B-side. So yeah.
Is it like on where is it, like the hidden track?
It's just not written on the artwork.
All right, cool.
Which was basically my fault. So it was a mistake. It was not done on purpose.
And then you called it the hidden. Oh,
Exactly. We found out on Monday when people from the fan club wrote, "Oh, come on, the Spam Records webpage says 22 songs. You only have 21 songs." And I said, "Fuck." So now I cursed. That was throw it now.
it's not a problem to curse here, but real emotion.
It was because like, oh, it was like, uh-oh. No, it was not Monday. It was on Tuesday. Tuesday we had the pre-sale started on Tuesday. So then people found out. So, oh, come on, how did that happen? And it was quite logical. I got a list from Reverend Bloodbath. He's doing all when it comes to like recording and mastering or whatever. He's the supervisor there because he's more like the recording guy and the sound guy. I got a list and it did not include Rainy Season. There was like this song was missing. He added it afterwards because we still had some more running time on that side of the vinyl. So he added it and he forgot to tell me. So when I did all the artwork, I did not know that there's Rainy Season on it. And I was like, come on. But this is so typical zombies. That's how we roll.
So other previous albums were something like that also?
Always. We have not a single album out without a mistake or without a big, like a boo-boo.
But it's good that you accept this. I mean, you tell people that there are mistakes there.
Of course. We're undead humans. We're still humans, so we make mistakes.
What was the biggest mistake? Maybe something with the music, I guess.
I think Reverend Bloodbath was spelled wrongly at least twice. Mr. Evilize once, I think, was spelled wrong. We had like the wrong what it's called, barcode, that IBAN code thingy that you have for like shops. It was the wrong one, so we had to put stickers on everything. Mixed up the tracks like on A and B sides.
Well, it's all limited edition stuff now.
Exactly. So now it's nothing really hilariously funny. It was always like this.
What from the collector's world, like all these items that are like wrongly done are the most valuable stuff. You own some stuff that's like misprinted, like from the horror.
Yes, of course. I was just thinking about. Do you know the Alice Cooper "Love You to Death" album? That's the first issue. He's holding a cape and he's holding it with his hands right in front of his crotch, and his thumb pokes out, and it really looks like his penis. So they had to censor the album cover because they thought he has his penis out there. So it was like the first edition, like I don't know how many thousand, but it was not many. It's the thumb cover. Yeah. So of course I have it.
Yeah, of course you have it. I mean, you're a big fan of Alice Cooper, right?
Yeah, total nerd. Like,
how many times? 2 times or 3 times you met him?
3 times. We have been his support act for 3 times now.
Yeah, I checked out when I saw the photos of you, the first photos with Alice Cooper. You're so nerded out and deer in the headlights, like shocked to death.
Seriously, I was close to cry. I could not speak. I did not say anything for the first 5-6 minutes or so. Then my brother he poked me and said, "Come on, Richy, say something." I got. I was freaked out totally. I mean, it was the biggest thing in my life, actually. He's the reason why I'm into music in general and into horror and everything that's.
Oh, when was the first time you saw him? Like a really early age, right?
No, I got into him when I turned 8 or so.
Yeah, that's what I mean. 8.
But till I saw him live, because then was like I was too young. He was on the world tour with Trash, the album. I was too young. I was not allowed to go, and then he did not show up in Austria for a couple of years. He did not do the Hey Stupid tour. He did not do the Last Temptation. So I saw him the first time 1993 or 1994 or something. So that was my first concert. And
all right.
I was crying there, by the way.
So I mean, you're like a real fan. You even have the tattoo of Alice Cooper.
Several ones, actually.
Or there's several ones.
It's just Alice Cooper stuff.
Yeah, but he also like you have a signature of Alice Cooper.
Yeah, that's what I did at the first show where I met him. I showed him my tattoos and he signed them, and I got the tattoo the next day.
Perfect. Such an Alice Cooper. I mean, it's okay. Meeting the legend like Alice Cooper is a thing, but you also probably have a lot of memorabilia connected to him. Also, what's your biggest one, except the ones that you have already?
Oh, besides albums and like first editions of albums, I have a cane, I have a whip, a stage gear from him. I have like several stuff signed. I have a baby doll, a ripped off baby doll signed by him, a baby doll head. He wrote an autobiography very early in the late 70s. No, in the early 70s actually. It's called Me Alice, super rare. I have this one signed by him. Mm-hmm. So it's like when you find it on eBay, it's $1,000 and up just for a normal copy, and I have it like signed. And
how do you shop for such kind of stuff? You know, like I'm not really a collector. I mean, I understand the collector's spirit, but you know, like today I will just browse the whole night for Alice Cooper stuff.
Exactly, but that's what I with Alice Cooper. It's not so how to say. It's not so pricey and not so expensive, because even if he's huge, and he should be way more appreciated, I would say, because his impact on pop culture itself is like gigantic and enormous. But he is not like Metallica or whatever, where it's like millions of hardcore fans all over the world. So his stuff it's not so pricey. You can get almost everything that's affordable for if you really want to have it.
So he's like a niche musician kind of. He's himself. Like there's only Alice Cooper. There's not like anybody else like Alice Cooper. I don't think so.
No, I mean it used to be a band, like a 5-piece band, and they still sometimes now they had like some kind of small reunion shows with his old friends again. But yeah, no, it's basically him, of course, and he's his own thing, niche. But he doesn't have so many crazy fans who will like spend. Except me and a couple of other thousands.
Do you know them actually? Do you talk to them?
Yes, of course. A few of them I know. Like we meet on concerts and stuff. There was one guy from Poland where he used to sell me a lot of stuff. So he was one of my connections to buy, especially like bootlegs, because I really wanted to have of every tour. I wanted to have at least one video recording so that I have watched all his live shows performance at least once. So and he helped me to get like from every tour.
You know, I mean, you can say it about every collector, but you know, just like the conversation between two, like super professional. Hey, I got it. You got it. You got it.
Exactly. That's how it is. How much are you willing to pay? I don't know.
It's like he did it only once, and he like even licked it or something like this.
Yeah. Actually bought the cane from him because I had a cane, and I once I catched one of his live canes that he was throwing into the audience. I catched it. But someone stole it from me, and I was so miserable And he offered me, because he had like several ones, that he's selling me one of those canes, so that at least it's not the one that I catched, but it is from that tour, and it is an Alice Cooper cane, so I bought it.
Probably you've seen all interviews or everything like the Fanatic, but have you seen the interview with Joe Bonamassa last year with Alice Cooper?
I have not seen that one.
I knew that you haven't seen that one. I will send you the link after it.
Yes, please do that.
And what's special about it is Alice Cooper says just a phrase like, we can finally talk about music. And he tells like cool stories. Like he tells like stories when he did in 70s, the promotion, there were throwing the underwear from the helicopter or something like that. Yeah. So he's like telling more in details. I'll send you the link. But it's funny that you don't know it. I was hoping that you don't know about it.
No, I didn't. I really didn't know about it. It's also Joe Bonamassa is not exactly that kind of thing that I follow. So
yeah, he was in COVID during the Corona time. He, like everybody else, started doing the interviews and stuff. And one by one, he started asking people, and that's how I got to Alice Cooper also.
yeah. Cool.
I was not looking for a thing just to hit you with no, it just happened by accident. So I'm at your place now. We're recording at your place, and this is like amazing. I mean, I've never been to a collector's home. First of all, I've never been to an Alice Cooper fan. I've never been to a horror fan. So for me, it's like triple kill. You know, the Alice Cooper stuff, man. It's like I'm looking at it right now. It's like so much of stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Is it all Alice Cooper stuff? Well, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's freaking a lot. And there's like, I can see a little bit from here. There's like the whole library of fuck. You have, oh man, you have even the painting of Alice Cooper. I mean,
it's a lot of stuff. I have to.
I know it's an audio podcast, but you know my holy shit.
It never ends.
It never ends. Like anywhere I turn my head, there's there Phantom of the Opera, right? Yeah. Posters of every. Oh, Jesus. Holy shit! It's like. Because we just came in fresh, I just set up the microphones, and I just finally can like look around properly. And there's like a lot of cool stuff, like amazing stuff, like horror stuff, everything. I mean, I can see Harry Potter there.
Yeah, I love Harry Potter.
He's also like really into horror. Actually, you know, like the movie, the Harry Potter with the snake one, freaked me out so much. Mm-hmm. Actually, I never mentioned that.
You get scared of Voldemort?
No. But that snake coming from the statue.
Okay.
Freaked me out. Oh, you even have the little shop of horrors. Yeah.
Audrey too. The plant.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That's also one of those crafted things that I make by myself.
You made yourself?
Yeah. That's a hobby of
and
mine.
That one also with the Dracula?
Yeah.
Also?
I love like sculpting. I'm not really good in it, but it's fun. I enjoy sculpting and painting stuff.
I saw like you on Instagram. You also did some masks or something.
Yeah. I did a lot of those masks that I'm wearing on stage, for example. In general, all the stage gear from the Bloodsucking Zombies, it's handcrafted. Most of the stuff. Also, the corpse that I use for Bila Kids, it was fun. It was living on my balcony for a couple of weeks when I was painting it and spray painting it.
And you learned it yourself slowly.
Yeah.
And I actually wanted to ask about all your stuff that you bring on stage. What happens to them after the tour? Do you keep them somewhere?
Yeah, it's all in the rehearsal room.
In the rehearsal room, because I was thinking like there's so much stuff, and you know what's funny? Like I was checking your social media, and I was going up and down. And I was like, okay, there should be. I was trying to guess what kind of stuff you're gonna bring on stage. I was like, okay, babies. There should be babies. Like what kind of baby? Like I was like. And I was trying because I'm afraid of spiders. I was like, spider baby would like fuck me up.
We had that was like our spinal tap. Was it spinal tap?
Spinal tap moment.
Spinal tap moment we had because once I built a gigantic spider.
Oh.
And I wanted to have it on stage for the song Giant Spider, and it should come down from the ceiling slowly.
Yeah.
And I mean. I worked quite hard on that spider. It was like a 2 meters wide tarantula thingy.
Oh, you would freak me out. I'm afraid of that shit.
And then we had it for when we took it into the venue and we did a tryout, and then everyone was just laughing his asses off. So it looks so cheesy. We can't do that.
It looks like a school play.
It was it was so cheap. It's like that was actually one of those things that we never did live then, and the spider is somewhere in the rehearsal room.
For the best, it's going another limited edition item that will go. You can do it for charity or something. And this,
the 2 meter spider. No, I will not give it away. No, I will keep it. But I'm still disappointed that it looked so cheesy because I was really working hard on it, and then did not work out at all.
But why was it? Why do you think it was like that? Why?
I think mainly because it's made out of fabric and the skeleton is just like cable and wire and stuff. And I know it looks very soft. It really looks like a toy for children. And when it was coming down, it was doing like the flying movements and stuff. So no, it was really like it did not look badass at all. It really was a Spinal Tap moment.
You know, like I'm like first of all, like all the Alice Cooper stuff looking at me, and you know, like and considering all your songs about serial killers. You know, I had like before, because I did all the research, I had a nightmare today
that I'm gonna kill you.
Worse, that I killed people and put them in the ground and made myself forget, and now I'm slowly remembering that I killed people, and it's all real.
It's awesome.
I kind of, yeah.
I could write a song about this.
Well, and it's because, you know, like the album Bella Kiss, you know, like you the album cover was like, all right, I need to check why you have that guy, because I didn't know who it is.
No,
I was like, why do you have that guy? I was like, I have mustache, they have mustache. I need to know. You will ask, or somebody will ask, or someone. I was like, okay, I get it. The barrel. Oh, that's what I also dreamt about, that I have a collection of barrels.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's all because of your band and love.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Actually,
giving you nightmares. Actually, I'm not sorry. I like it a lot that you get nightmares from my band.
Actually, I wanted to ask, you know, like, because you sing sometimes about the current serial killers, right? Mm-hmm. You had that moment when somebody came out of the prison.
Yeah, I had that. That was kind of like a lesson learned for me when we did the song called Kopf deiner Mutter, which is about...
and it's also on the album of the English version.
We did an English version now for the 2 Decades of Decay album. Yeah. And it was like in the 90s, the middle of the 90s or so, when the murder happened. And then he went free, right? Like in the same week where we released the album. I was like, shit, I really hope that he's not going to listen to it or going to be upset about it. Or I don't know. I mean, would you like it if a band, maybe he's like, I don't know. So it was like this, I hope he's not ringing my doorbell.
Well, especially, you know, that the person killed people and psycho.
He killed his mother.
He's a psycho.
Yeah. I mean, he went straight back into prison because he did. He assaulted people on a shopping street again, like a couple of days after he was set free.
We feel bad for the people, but thank God he's in prison.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, he's a person who needs help, obviously, and you know, maybe also like a normal prison was not the right place for him to put.
Yeah. Today, because of my research again, I woke up and I was still in the state of weirdness, and I realized that 2 things: that serial killers are really close spiritually to artists, to musicians, in a way that they do something that really, really believe in, that doesn't give any valuable stuff for the society. They really, truly believe in what they're doing. They're really dedicated, like in their craft.
Yeah.
And it's like same what musicians do. I mean, it's fucked up logic, of course.
A lot of them also have groupies.
Yeah, groupies. Yes, the fame. They all want to be appreciated and understood for what they do. Just like musicians I know.
Yeah, true. So if the zombies' career is not going anywhere, I still have a chance to become a serial killer one day.
Whoa, okay. Nice to be here.
I was just thinking that I just invited you to my place. What do you think you're gonna do here?
What did you put in my beer?
You have seen the Dharma series?
Kind of. Yeah, I know about it. I don't feel my fingers.
All the listeners out there, that might be the last podcast of Arthur.
It's going to be a bonus episode, just like the sounds ASMR of chopping body parts.
Exactly. Soon it's going to be me, your host.
Are you going to eat me?
Probably not.
Oh, vegetarian?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Actually, what's interesting, I checked out your rider. You're one of the few bands who have riders online.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I like
nothing to hide.
Yeah. The only thing was that put away all your Wi-Fi routers from the stage. So something happened, I guess.
Yeah. There was like, oh, that's still in our rider. I think we can remove that already. That was my old. I bought me so can hear when I was still playing drums. I always had problems getting my vocals that loud that I can really listen, like that I can sing drums. So I was so loud with the drum kit and everything already. So I bought me the first generation in-ear monitoring stuff.
Yes,
were just my vocals. I could put them on by myself, and as soon as some Wi-Fi was around, it stopped working.
That early.
Yeah.
So first generation. Oh my God.
So it did not work when someone was like putting a Wi-Fi on. We had that in the rider.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean the rider. That's why I ask about the vegetarian stuff, because you can see in the rider you can't see who's ordering what, but you can see there are 2 people who are vegetarians, 3 people who are not. You need 2 single bedrooms, 3 double bedrooms. Like 3, I forgot already. But for me, it was just interesting to dive a little bit into. I mean, the rider is standard, nothing crazy. You just like, you can see in that you want to be just like, treat us like people, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Like everybody, like any band.
Yeah, I mean, we're still around since quite a long time.
Yeah.
So by now, I think our standards that we want to have, or what we're asking for, are not too high. I think that's what we can expect to get.
From what I see, it's what I've seen. It's like normal, just like normal. We're normal people.
Yeah.
Like we don't need corpses in our bedrooms or anything. We don't need.
But we don't mind if you still do.
And you wrote like, we like beer. Please put some beer.
Yeah.
But actually, you said like you exist already like for 20 years. Imagine that you're talking to your young self when you started, even before the zombies. Well, even like when you start your first band, actually. What's the name? What's the punk name? My Moral Majority. What kind of advice would you give to your young self? What to avoid, at least? What you learned?
Ooh, that's tricky.
Always hard questions on this podcast.
That's a hard question now, because like time has changed so much. So a lot of things that were very important to me, they're kind of gone now. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of like business questions in the past that I totally took from my point now, I would say we took the wrong way, because we was really like so anti-establishment and anti-business. We just wanted to do it our way. For example, I did not play a show at was it Endless Summer, one of those big festivals.
Yes.
And I said, no, I don't want to play there, because they put us like after Napalm Death and some other metal bands. It was just like, no, we don't belong there. We don't belong between metal bands. And nowadays I would say it's so stupid. Of course I would do it. I mean, obviously, first of all, I love Napalm Death. And second, I don't care if they put us there. The promoter will obviously knows what he's doing, and there must be an audience listening to us, or maybe not, but it's no reason for not doing it. But at this time of our career, we really was like this. No, we're punks and we're punkabilly, and we don't. I don't know. We just thought it's kind of a sellout to us to do that, and we didn't do it. And I said, of course, they never asked us again to play.
Yeah, of course.
So I regret that somehow. And there was a couple of those things. I was just like, the whole punk spirit was so big for me, and so like I don't want to sell out somehow. And nowadays, like after 20 years, and we're still not where we thought that we're gonna be somehow.
You thought you're gonna be up there somewhere
Well,
at the top.
there was moments in my life where I was hoping at least that we're gonna be a bit bigger, or I don't know.
Especially how it was going, because it was
Exactly.
going really fast. Especially with Amadeus,
Exactly.
the winning the 2015.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
But it's like all those decisions were like no management, no record label. We do everything by ourselves. It just takes you to a certain point. Then you have to realize, okay, we're not going anywhere without help or without like the connections of other people. Because like what I said, a lot of things changed when I grew up and I turned into punk rock and everything. There was a huge subculture scene, like a do-it-yourself scene, and everyone was helping itself. And you could actually make a career in the scene that it was like, and I'm not talking about becoming rich and famous. I'm talking about maybe one day I can just do music and not work 40 hours a week and doing the music, not as a hobby, as a second job. And this is gone. There is you can't do anything with just like being a subculture thing and playing club shows. So you really need to be, there's just one business. There's the music industry, and you have to be, if you're in, then you're in, or you're not.
Pretty much, yes.
You know?
Pretty much in everything, with everybody I spoke who are like on your level, yes, they also say the same thing. And you can hear it from the people in the interviews, same thing. Even Alice Cooper says the same
I mean,
thing.
it is what it is. I mean, I don't know if it's something with social medias and internet and streamings and TikTok and Spotify and everything, but in general, the music is not as important to people anymore, to a lot of people, at least when it comes to mainstream. It's not as important as it used to be, and people are not willing to pay a lot of money, or at least more than what I know the Spotify thing costs per month.
Like 10 euros per month.
Exactly. This is how much it is valuable to them. And then you have, on the other hand, you have, of course, those dear friends who is buying the vinyls and the collector's editions, and they pay a lot of money for that. But you can't live on that. You know, you need, if you want to like have an income from music, you can't play in front of 50 people in a club and sell 100 LPs. You need a little bit more so you can at least afford a living. And this is really hard now.
It's really hard. It's like not only because of the Spotify and all that stuff, that it's not people don't value music anymore that much, but also because there's so much people around.
Yeah.
Also because of the internet, and it's really hard to find your fan or the people who would like pay to be with you.
Exactly.
Like I calculated once that in order just to get enough money so that you can pay a manager like a percentage, you need to be able to do at least 80 shows per year, at least.
Yeah.
And which is already like, if you calculate, it's like three months of touring. And people who are professionals, they tour almost like 300 days per year. Like, I mean, of course, there are like exceptions, people who made the name in the previous time. But these days, I mean, the benefit of the Zombies, of your band, is that like you already have your thing. I mean, it took a lot of time to figure out your thing. But like when I talk to young musicians, they still don't. I mean, they just want they all want to just play music and that's it. But it's not enough. You know?
No, that's also like I don't want to sound whiny or something. I'm glad that we're doing what we're doing and that it works so well. I was just, when you asked me about what I should tell myself in the past, I don't know, because as I said, there are a few things that nowadays I would never do that again. But at like 20 years ago, it was the natural thing for us to do. And as I said, the time has changed and industry has changed. So it's a new game somehow.
Okay, but what about like maybe not about directly like your decisions in the music, but maybe like something like basic stuff, you know, like if you go on a tour, you know, like take an extra pillow.
I think everybody has to learn his lessons.
All right,
That's the thing.
You want your younger self to suffer, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I had the best time in my life. So
Yeah.
it was like great. I don't know. There was not many things. I would not recommend, but it's also something you have to do as a band one day. I don't recommend driving from London to Vienna straight. I would not recommend doing that.
Was it your second Nightliner tour?
No, it was it was us in a van.
And that's it in the beginning.
That's
early.
it. We had like we had 3 shows in England,
All right.
and then there should have been 1 show on our way back in Germany, and that one got, I don't know why, but it got postponed or deleted or cancelled. So we had to drive all the way back home, and we could not afford getting a hotel on the way, or we didn't want to do it. And I think it was also like we needed to. Because we had a driver that was driving us in England at least, but he was from Germany, so we had to drop him off, and then we had to drive by ourselves back home. So
I mean, you were really hungry for the shows, I guess.
it was England, of course.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Yes. But what about the second night when you did when you needed a lot of nightliners and speakers?
Oh yeah.
What happened there?
We had like a 10 shows tour or 12 shows.
Yeah.
Was going with a nightliner, and 2 nightliners broke down on this tour.
Yeah.
2.
All right. Bad luck, I guess.
Yeah, it was just bad luck. The first one broke down already on the second show. He was leaking gas, and the second one did not start at all. He had the engine broke down. So we really had that dream. Oh, we're going on a nightliner tour. After all, we don't have to drive by ourselves. We are not like cramped in a van.
Yeah.
We have the nightliner, and from that 12 shows, we had like 4 or 5 nights in the nightliner. The rest was cramped in a van again. So come on.
Back to reality.
Especially all the long drivings was when we did not have a nightliner. We had to do it in a van.
Man, yeah, actually, like this question come from Ego vs. Shock people. Ask them, and they're like, ask them about the tour because Lucas was there.
He was there. Yeah. It's like this. Oh yeah, nightliner. Nope.
So this is what you could have said to your younger self. Be prepared for some torture on the road.
Of course.
I mean, I know about the roads. It's like it's really hard in general.
Yeah. I mean, we really had luck so far, and I'm knocking on wood here that nothing really bad happened to us. So no one got.
I mean, you fell on the stage a couple of times.
I fell off stage 2 times, and once I had to go to hospital after the concert. But that's it, basically. No one really got like major injured or something. We never had, thank God, we never had an accident on the highway. We once almost hit a deer, but nothing really happened. So
Save the deer.
Yeah, exactly. No, the deer was fine. It was just us who was doing the.
Oh my god, the horror punk band
Killing a deer.
Killing a deer.
Bring it on stage.
Yeah.
Who killed Bambi?
And all the deer heads will be like thrown like on
God.
the stage all the time. It's like, guys, we're done with the deer, okay?
Yeah.
We moved on. It's like werewolf babies, all right? Fine.
Yeah.
No, you fucking deer killers. You can do whatever you want with the babies, but if you kill the deer, you fucked.
I would say so, yeah. I love deers. They're great.
Me too. So wait, I got sidetracked a little bit. So the Nightliner tour, right? Like, so yeah, we mentioned that you have like the you keep all the stage dolls. So are you planning to do an exhibition like of all the
The stage props?
stage props? It would be cool.
Yeah, maybe, actually.
It would be cool, people. You have a lot of fans. There are many people fans with tattoos of your logo. So there are some hardcore fans that would like join.
That would be cool if we connected with something like a special show or concert, and if you do like on the side room or so, like an exhibition. I think Kissen is doing that.
Well, Kiss are like freaking great with any kind of merchandise and promotion.
And I also think Ghost has something like an exhibition of different
the Papa
and everything.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, if there would not have been COVID and lockdowns and everything, we would have had great plans for our 20 years anniversary, but it all was like, okay, no, there's no point of planning big things right now. But maybe one day, maybe we do it for the 30th anniversary of Bloodsucking Zombies from Outer Space.
Well, it's you just need a nice situation, moment, motivation. Because I know that when the COVID hit, you came up with the idea of doing when you collect the songs in the fold,
the box set,
in the box set, you know. So you just need the proper like moment to do it.
Then you're gonna see the spider.
Then you're gonna see the spider.
The 2-meter spider, the Spinal Tap spider.
The Spinal.
It's so hilarious. I mean, I had to admit, first of all, I was angry because all my boys was laughing their asses off. I was like, "You assholes! I spent 2 weeks on that spider." They said, "But Richy, you can't do that. People will cry. It's so funny."
No, but the spider is like really cool. Look at this. I know.
Exactly, and it's not like it is a fast punk rock song, and it's like an aggressive song. So it was even worse than like, come on.
And you had to wear it, right? It's like all wobbling and stuff.
Exactly.
Oh man, it would be great. It's like no, you have to do it for some, I don't know, like some kind of charity or whatever, you know, like funny, like donating blood plus something funny, you know, like because people will be laughing so much the blood will come out of their noses.
Yeah. I never told the story, by the way. No one heard about it before.
Well, on this podcast, everything is possible.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, you're a horror fan, right? And I already asked you like behind the scenes while we were like going here, like the love for horror cinema helps you a lot with the stuff that you create, like for the band.
Yeah, it is the base for the band. My love for horror and my love for Alice Cooper and my love for punk rock and whatever is the reason why we're around. So I just wanted to combine all those things that I'm really into it.
Actually, you know, like with your first band, you know, like now it looks, it's obvious that you're doing what you're doing, right? But you started like as a punk band, right?
Yeah.
And it would be funny, like if you would immediately start with a horror punk, you know, but you started with a punk.
Yeah, but I already had songs like about Jason and stuff.
You just never made it was not the right time to make the transition to go full in, probably.
Yeah. It was also like I don't know, somehow I kept it a little bit separate. My love for horror and my love for punk rock. I was very much into Deutsch punk, like German punk rock. So it was all about politics and stuff. You know, when you're 16 and angry and you wanna fight the establishment and stuff. You I don't know. That was my kind of the lyrics that I wrote was my interpretation of Deutsch punk, like what I thought that it should be, because I was such a big fan also of a lot of bands from Germany. It's like, okay, this is how punk rock should be. And then there was Misfits was obviously always like a big influence for me. But somehow it was like, no, you can't copy that. You won't do that. And it was also like more important for me to write somehow political lyrics at this time. And then the whole punk rock genre became more and more into like, it was in the early 2000s. There was like a huge wave of how to say, political correctness and like more intellectual punk bands. So a lot of bands that it was just dressed in black jeans and a black shirt and doing like that time, yes. It was like the whole thing was refused, and then the International Noise Conspiracy, and then you had like German bands that I really like Quartet, and I don't know, it somehow punk rock became more and more intellectual and less fun.
I was about to say
it was less fun to me, especially because I always liked to dress up. So when I was a punk, I was like as colorful as I could be. I had like a big mohawk, I had a lot of studs. I always liked to dress up. I always liked to shock people on the street somehow. And then the whole scene turned more into like, in my eyes, a little bit boring and a little bit more. So like we are grown up now. We're like adults, and I really didn't want to grow up. I wanted to be like provocative. I wanted to be like colorful, and then psychobilly and horror punk came, and it was like exactly the opposite. Okay, now we write lyrics that has no real like agenda, or we're not doing, I don't know,
Not so serious.
Exactly. We don't
more
take
rock and roll.
ourselves so serious. It's more back to rock and roll. Exactly. And that was like the perfect glove for my hand. Somehow it fitted perfectly. I was like, yeah, okay, now this is what I want to do. And then I started the Zombies.
That's great. I mean, that's great on many levels. Great that you're doing what you really love. You found it quite early.
Yes, but also, like as I said, it was right after a couple of years. My political views or the views of the band found their way into the Zombies again. So we never was one of those bands who said, we don't deal with politics. No, we are people. We think, we talk, we have opinions. And for me, it's not a no-go to be a horror punk band and not sing about politics too.
Oh, you can totally. I mean, serial killers, politics goes hand in hand.
Exactly.
But not only that. In general, just like you can comment on the modern society. Really good with horror, and horror in general. It's many times it's a metaphor for what's happening in the world.
Exactly. You have that also with horror movies. A lot of them have like how to say. They're a picture of society to put out some statements about society, like Dawn of the Dead, for example.
Yes,
like a huge criticism of capitalism, basically, of shopping, and like people are like zombies in shopping malls, buy things.
Or the Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Like the relationship between the people, the racial thing, everything.
Yeah, exactly. So that's also how I think it works for me. It works best if I write lyrics, and of course I love the horror genre, but it's a lot of personal stuff in it that I just wrap around in horror stories.
Yeah, talking about the zombies, I was pleasantly surprised that Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah,
it's one of your favorites.
Definitely, yeah.
Mine also. Yeah. Because I mean, I'm not, like as I said, I'm not so much into the horror, but if I see horror, like the one that I like, Return of the, it's like amazing.
Yeah,
and it's like I think it would probably, correct me if I'm wrong, it influenced you a lot, probably.
Very much. I think this is for a long time. I would say it was that movie that was the main thing for the zombies, for the Bloodsucking Zombies. Kind of like there was everything in there, music, style, everything that we ripped off.
I mean, it's iconic movie with so many iconic moments and the soundtrack and everything.
For me, it was like the perfect movie. When I saw it for the first time, I was just getting into punk rock. I was so like attracted by the genre, by the style, by the mohawks and stuff, and I loved horror movies. And then the Return of the Living Dead, I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. Like the Damned sound and the Cramps on the soundtrack and all those great songs, and then Suicide in the film, and yeah, Linnea Queenie, and it was just great. It was brilliant.
And the phrase is this is not a costume,
and
also like this, because it's like it's like a philosophy, you know, like, and it became your philosophy. I would say you have definitely. A song. It's not my Halloween costume.
Yeah,
but when I saw it first time, I was like, whoa, this is so cool. I mean, you rewatch for some scenes, like the dancing thing, kind of.
Yeah.
But this thing that you remember for real.
Yeah.
Like. Remember, like I sent you like some questions regarding the movies, and one of the questions was like if we would like describe the zombies life, like in movies, you know, how would we like how would like when it started, like which movie would it be?
Definitely Bloodsucking Zombies and Plan 9 from Outer Space. Those are those two films that gave us the band name, and also like we were so trashy and so cheesy in the beginning. It looked hilarious. Our costumes, our makeup, we were just doing. We always did it by ourselves. So of course, our first show, we tried to get corpse paint or whatever, and it looked miserable.
But you knew that, or you were?
Yeah, kinda ish. Of course we knew that. I mean, it's not great, but I thought it's also like our style. We wanted to be a little bit cheesy and trashy and glam and whatever. We really liked it. We had like. When we started with the band, already at the first or second rehearsal, we was writing down our backstory. Who are we and our names and what are the characters? And we was really like, we had a lot of fun and also a lot of beers while doing this.
Well, how you should, of course.
So there was me with being the reanimated serial killer Ed Gein. Then we had a space pirate, who was Mr. Evilize, a space pirate who actually reanimated me. He looked like, he had like golden glitter pants.
Glitter.
And yeah, totally like glam. And kind of Paul Stanley kind of his makeup.
Right.
And then he was wearing a bowler hat for like a little bit of a Clockwork Orange thingy.
All right.
And our first bass player, he was Philippe Marquis de Nuit.
Oh.
And he had like the gay vampire image. So it's like he looked like Mozart with one of those beauty dots in his face.
Yeah.
And he was acting like super gay on stage, which he wasn't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. It was just, I mean, by now it's that politically so questionable what we did. But at this time it was fun. Also like Reverend Bloodbath, he was like the priest who slaughtered the whole choir boys. With a little bit of a pedophile thing, priest, Catholic priest. So we really had like all those backstories things. We was just laughing our asses off, and it was fun to do that.
This is fun stuff.
Exactly. So in the beginning, it was very much like trash horror movies. Very much.
It feels like that.
Trash. And then
I don't want to like say it's something bad.
No,
Do you understand what
it is. It is. It was. Also the lyrics, I did not care. I did not really care at all about the lyrics in the beginning.
Was it like more about like
It was my
kill
first,
blood and stuff?
Exactly. It was my first time writing lyrics in English. And I know that my English sucked. So I was just going, there was a webpage called Rhyme Creator.
Yeah.
And that's how I wrote lyrics.
Many people still use it all the time. It helps.
And yeah, it was a lot just movies like describing what I saw on TV, kind of,
Well, that's how you start. You need to start somewhere.
Exactly. That's how I started. Then we had a phase where it was definitely Return of the Living Dead, I would say. I think that was especially also the whole, when you've been on tour for the first time and you stick together a lot, we became very much a gang. And then also we got the band name tattooed, all of us. We really was into the whole, we're a family, we're a gang. And then like movies like Return of the Living Dead became a major influence because we felt like we are that rat pack kind of doing that against all odds and against all, I don't know.
To the end.
Yeah. And also like being between, like the psychobilly scene hated us for like the old school psychobillies because we are not real psychobilly. So we got a lot of like bad emails and like threats and stuff. Like, the Meteors fans really did not like us. And on the other hand, for the horror punk scene, it was like, yeah, psychobilly. No, it has just helped us a little bit somehow to move even closer because we know that's us against the world, basically.
And also it helped you to find your own voice because they said you're not that. The other one said you're not that also. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, fuck you all.
Yeah, especially from the beginning on. I mean, we did not say that we are this and that. We're just the zombies. We do what we do. And yeah, there was like films like Return of the Living Dead, as I just said. Or a lot of those heavy metal horror movies like Rocktober Blood, for example, or Ragman, like Trick or Treat. All those films, like the underdog movies, somehow, that was very much inspiring to us. And by now, I don't know. I think we're somewhere between a classic monster movie.
No?
I would say so, yeah. We're a little bit...
You want to be more stylistically and beautiful?
I would not say beautiful and stylistic, but...
But like a Hammer movie.
Yeah.
Technicolor.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, we know our shit now. We know how to do those things that we are doing. We know how to do them now. So we don't look as cheesy anymore because the makeup we're doing, it's still not great, but it is what it is and it's okay. We have like standards when it comes to production and when it comes to artworks and everything. So I think we have a little bit more class than we used to have.
Okay, I understand where the Hammer movies come from.
Yeah.
What kind of movie would it be for the Amadeus Award?
Oh, that was totally the whole Rat Pack. We were gang thingy.
All right.
I think that was the peak of that period.
All right.
That we really made it to that point that we're getting an award for us, because we was the only band, seriously, and that's what made me proud. I mean, first of all, it is still something special to get awarded for something, but what really made me proud is we've been the only band who was not on any record label, so it was just the fans.
Independent.
We was just an independent. We was doing. I think it was the first real Schlitzerpeppe Records record we put out,
Which is your record label.
and they did not see us coming. And then was the distribution company who is nominating, basically who's giving the advices which bands should be nominated, and it's all about the sales. And they could not get not around us anymore because okay, those guys are selling records, so we got nominated, and then winning it against like the big Universal and Sony and whatever music industry bands was very important somehow. It made us feel very. I mean, as I said, it was the peak of the whole gang thingy for us.
But then then you got a little bit more confident about what you're doing. Like
I would say so. Yeah.
I mean, confident in a good way, and maybe you started to. Was it when did you say no to the festival? After or before?
Before.
Before. All right.
Before. No, it was before. I think now at this point we already has been. As I said, we have our own label and stuff. We had the business thing already running. So
who taught you the business? How did you learn?
no one.
Nobody.
We did it all by ourselves.
Just a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Experience and dedication, I would say.
Yeah. It is.
Because many bands who are starting out, they're just in the beginning. Well, actually, what would you say to the new bands who are starting out right now?
I had just the conversation with a friend yesterday about it. First of all, I would say believe in yourself and really believe in yourself. And if you believe in what you're doing, then don't be like afraid of losing money. You know, I really hate the idea of, for example, crowdfunding. Because if you don't believe you're gonna sell your record, don't put it out. If you want a safety net, don't go into music.
No, don't. It's the worst part.
That's what I said. I mean, if I don't believe that my record people will buy, and I'm not willing to put my money into it, why should anyone else do it? That is the whole spirit with Schlitzerpeppe Records. We can't. We always do what we would buy, and if we lose, we lose. I mean, the worst thing that happens is that we're in debt again, which we have been a couple of times. But so what? You know?
Is it a part of self-doubt? Is normal for for artists?
Of course.
Every day you're not sure that you will make it.
At least when it comes to me, yes.
Almost everybody I talk to, and myself included,
Yeah.
almost every day.
Yeah.
But you mean like believing that, maybe not even believing in yourself, but understanding that.
Yeah. For example, a lot of bands all over the years that we met and stuff, they kind of have the attitude, like, yeah, now we're doing the band and we're doing this, and I mean, someone has to pay for the rehearsal room. Yes, you, because you want to make music. Don't ask your fans to pay your rehearsal room rent if you're just on building up, you know, because no one asks you to be on stage. No one. There are thousands and millions of musicians out there who all wants to be in front of an audience. So if you already have that attitude that I don't want to lose my own money on this one, you know, and I met a lot of people who actually have that attitude that, yeah, I want to be a rock star, but
they don't want to spend any.
But they're way too shy to put their hard-earned money on it somehow. And it's like, that then don't do it. Because for me, that feels just wrong. I mean, if it works, nice. But
usually it doesn't.
Yeah, of course it doesn't. And if it does, then you have a big douchebag in front of you.
When you were starting like with this band, with the Zombies, was it the only band that you were like doing, or there were like?
No, that was like I was still in my majority. It was like half a year. We all were in other bands. So I started with the Zombies, and right in the beginning, after the first or second rehearsal with another guitarist, I thought, okay, we need a good guitarist. So I asked already my brother, who was in a band with Reverend Bloodbath, with Harry, if he wants to join. And he just brought Harry with him for a rehearsal and said, you might want to put some keyboards into it too. And I said, yeah, sure, why not? And then we had like for half a year, we had 2 bands on the side. I was helping them out playing bass for their project for one show, I think. But then, of course, it was like, no, we want to focus on one thing. We want to do it right. We want to do it properly. And we want to focus on something and it was the Zombies. For me, of course, it was my idea, but also Daniel and Harry was on my side directly. And yeah, that's it, basically, from then on.
Because when I talk to the bands and the bands who are made it to the next level, there are always levels, right? Ranks, levels, experience, never mind. You can see that those who concentrated on one band made it.
Yeah.
And when you have many bands, you don't have much time to spend on. I mean, I understand people want to find what's successful, what's working out or not. But this is where when you say believe in yourself, ask yourself what you really want to do and focus on that. Maybe.
Also, people are different. I mean, I know people who basically just like playing their instrument and they don't care so much about the whole band concept. So they are just happy when they can be on stage and play their instrument, which is totally fine. But I am not like this. I don't care about drums or guitars or singing that much. I like doing it because I can write songs with it, but that's it. It does not bring me any joy to play drums for myself.
Yeah, but you always want to be a singer.
Exactly. It also does not bring any joy to myself to sing in private.
So what's the main point? To be on stage? The whole thing around the makeup, the stage, the experience of it.
For me, the whole thing that I'm really blessed that the Zombies are working for me, that I can do exactly what I like doing artworks. I do the artworks. I like doing handcraft stuff. I do the stage props. I like writing songs. It's actually, even if no one wants to listen to my songs, even if they threaten me with, like, you go to prison if you ever write a song again, then I will do it hidden in the basement or something. I like writing songs. But this is all just like, as I said, that the whole combination of everything is perfect. That I can just put my whole creativity into one project, and that's the Zombies.
Have you ever thought about the movie business?
Yeah, actually, yes. Because before the band, when I was really young, I was very much into, when it also was horror, you come from, you switch from one step to another what you're interested in. And there was a big phase in my life where I was really into the whole underground horror movies, like the homemade horror stuff.
The romantic.
Exactly. Like there was a scene also based mainly in Germany and in the US. It was quite big, like Andreas Schnaas and Olaf Ittenbach and Jörg Puttgereit, of course, and Andreas Bethmann, all those underground horror filmers. And I really loved that. And I wanted to do that too. And I always was into special effects and makeup. So I did some home horror films. They never made it anyway.
That's my next question,
nope.
Yes.
No, they don't exist
Not yet.
anymore.
Don't exist.
No, they don't exist anymore.
Well,
I think
on this podcast, everything is possible.
I think one is still somewhere.
You see? It's our now. We need our task.
There was
fans.
That was my plan B to music, like doing horror films, which was same unrealistic plan for my future income.
Well, it's not even about future income, but it's just like you have something that you really love.
Yeah,
and you're just trying to find how you can earn money with that.
But I already got very much like messed up with the whole industry thing in music, and I think in movies it's even worse.
It's worse.
It's worse, exactly. And this is something I can't cope with. I already struggled a lot, and it took me 20 years to finally get somehow my head around. Okay, the music industry is an industry, and it is business, and business is what I'm not good in.
Yeah, I heard that you're the idea guy and the Reverend Bloodbath.
Yeah, he's the business guy.
The business guy.
My God, what we had also like the when you ask me about regrets in the past,
yeah,
it was always me against him or me against them, because they was the voice of reason. But Richy, we just lose money. You will not. No, I will not charge more than 10 euros for a T-shirt. This is not okay. We need to be cheap. We need to be cheap. And I said, but we already paid that much for this. Yeah, I don't care. I want people to wear our logo. That's fine. You know what I mean? I was always very much on the. I said, oh, come on, really? And I always had because in my world, in the scene where I grew up with, it would be totally uncool if you're gonna sell out on merchandise, for example.
Like the punk world, you mean?
Yeah. So, and I never wanted to be like to be caught out from people like this. Oh, come on, really? You charge 20 euros for a T-shirt? And of course, by now it's not. Of course, everything got more expensive, and we also need to pay like.
Just the manufacturing of the T-shirts, at least.
The Zombies are a company, and we need to pay taxes, and but it's also like it is okay. Even punk bands charge 25 euros for a T-shirt now, and no one really cares about it. It's not. That's what I said. The time also has changed, and people has changed. So we're used to it.
It seems that the punk, when you were experienced the punk, you already got into this. Clash of the time.
Yeah, totally.
Because like if it was like a punk of the 80s, right?
Yeah,
it will still be fine.
Yeah.
But when you clashed the punk in the 90s, right? Like the world already changed a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I was surrounded by older people. So I got into my first band when I was 13. They was all around in their 20s. And then I got into punk rock. And so I was the young kid, and they teach me the 80s philosophy of punk rock, kind of ish.
Anti-establishment, don't sell
Exactly. And then, as I said, I mean, a lot of business decisions in the band was me against Harry and against Daniel, like saying, no. And they was like, oh, come on, this is totally okay to do that, and no one will blame you for doing it. It's just you. If you ever want to earn money with the band, you need to charge for what you're doing. And I said, yeah. That took me a long time.
Well, first of all, when did you change your mind?
I would say in the last 5 years, 6 years. Yeah.
Only 20 years, and only like last 5 years.
Yeah, I would say so.
Ooh, hard, super hard. And
I mean, to tell you something, on Monday I already had like what? They charge 35 euros for the 2 Decades of Decay album.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah. I know.
And second day sold out. So, okay. Thank you. But
yeah, well, it's good that you have the nice combination in your band that somebody can actually do it. If it were, I don't want to say like sound bad, but if everybody were like you,
then we still have to pay every month. We have to pay like, I don't know how many.
Yeah. It will always go into minus.
We always go into minus, exactly.
I wanted to ask, like, what the ideas that you gave to Harry that didn't come, like maybe some big ideas that didn't work out for the probably financial reasons, but you had like some really cool ideas.
Yeah, but I have to think about that.
I know.
We once started with a film, actually. We started with a film.
What was the film that there was the zombies from outer space, but it was not connected to? It was the name.
No, it was Bloodsucking Zombies.
Yes.
Actually, the full name of the movie is from Jess Franco, a Spanish horror film director.
Yeah.
The full name was Bloodsucking Nazi Zombies from out. So we crossed out
commercial reasons.
We crossed out the Nazi for obvious reasons. Yeah. And From Outer Space from Ed Wood.
Yes.
The Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yeah. So okay. But with the ideas, it's really hard to answer, because if it didn't come out, then it's hard to remember it.
Yeah. Now, as I said, we once started with a film. We had the second album. We had the short story, because I always liked the idea of a concept album, but we only made it for 4 songs. It was okay. It's a short story. It was the whole Billy the Butcher songs, and we wanted to make it like a short movie, like having those 4 songs, music clips connected together with a story.
And did it work out?
We started filming.
Yeah, then it
went astray somehow.
So for a bit of context, we're drinking more beer. I think we need. I like to say it because so that people understand why I'm so slow.
Okay.
No, but okay. So, it's Halloween coming up soon. We're recording 1 week before the Halloween, approximately. I don't even know what day it is today, but next day. Never mind. How do you celebrate Halloween? Is it a special time, or it's just like for you? It's like regular.
No, we always have a show on Halloween. So
Yes, you have in Köln, right?
yeah, we play in Cologne,
Cologne, yes.
with our friends The Other.
The
and
Other,
Fright. So like 20 years of horror punk celebration.
And it's like the Night Fright, how it's called. They have it every year, right? The Other.
Yeah, they also have their annual some kind of a hometown concert.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is like the Night Fright, or how it's called.
The Hell Nights.
The Hell Night.
Hell
That's
Nights,
what they
yeah. Yeah, when they did Halloween tours, they called it Hell Nights too. Yeah.
Because you did before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you usually have a concert on Halloween, right? Do you make it also some kind of special, different, extra special?
We did, but not this time. No, we're doing a few songs we do special, but we used to be like, we try to, for example, we put extra makeup on, like putting a mask over the makeup again and starting the show with like in other characters. And we played a lot of cover songs in the past. So last time we played Halloween in Cologne 5 years ago, we did a lot of Misfit songs in the beginning and stuff like this. This time, because I was in hospital, I got my vocal cords fixed. I had a surgery. So we start with
on
thank
you talking again.
So we start with rehearsal for that show tomorrow. So we have no time to put something very much special in. We probably play 1 or 2 songs that we are not playing regularly, but we had no time and no chance to do something super special for that Halloween show this year.
Okay, but how do you like?
But I
do
would
you have
say,
a party or something like this, like a completely something different, or you just go to bed?
oh no, of course I just go to bed. Come on, silly thing. Look at me. I'm the one who's in bed. I think we play before the other, so it's already late. Bad time for me. Of course you're gonna party like crazy. We already go the night.
I'm trying to find some kind of like interesting stuff. I mean,
that's totally fine.
Give me
No. I mean,
of course I know what you're gonna do.
What we have planned is like, I don't know if it's gonna happen, but Thorsten from The Other, we already talked about doing 1 song or so together, like doing a Misfits cover song all together. That would be great because we used to do that in the past. We have a show that because of COVID, we could not play anywhere else than in Austria yet. So a lot of songs that are for us in the regular set, we haven't played in Germany at all, like songs from the new album. We have a new drummer that has not been with us in Austria, besides Austria. Marty, yeah. Marty Midnight. So it's his first time being with us.
Oh, you're gonna
in Germany.
Are you like the band who likes to do pranks and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, I was expecting that.
Of course.
You're a fun band. You're a rock and roll fun horror punk band.
My brother used to say we're the fun punks of horror.
But you are.
Somehow it is, yeah. Because especially we had so many. I mean, we try to be in character for at least the first 2 shows, first 2 songs in a set, and then. I mean, by now we are a little bit more professional, but in the past, always something hilarious happened and some comment. Or I had my headset, so whatever I said to my boys, everybody could hear. So it's like, okay, we can't keep that image up for more than 1 or 2 songs because we're just way too funny. We're just way too. I don't know.
Yeah. You like to fun. Yeah, like exactly. To have fun, like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
But like for Marty, I think he's into horror also, right? Yes. But I mean, he's the youngest probably. Yes. And for him, it probably was like mind blown that you asked him to be with you.
I hope
Hopeful.
so. I
Yes.
hope so. I'm very grateful that he's with us now, and he fits perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, I saw what I saw. Everything looks fine. It's just like I'm thinking from the Marty's perspective. Oh, they're gonna like do pranks on me and stuff. They're gonna
okay.
like from that perspective, like
Nah, he's quite a person.
he's doing on you, so you're afraid.
Yeah. No, I'm not afraid, but he's not a shy guy. So
He's not the shy guy, right? You already had like. Did you record something with him, or you
Yes.
just played? Something?
no, we recorded with him already.
Is he like how long is he with you? Like 1 year, 2 years?
He played his debut show was Halloween last year. So
Oh yeah.
I think he's with us since summer 21. Yeah.
You know, it's like each time like I saw the interviews, it's like everybody asks like, why are you not drumming anymore?
Because
No, I mean it's like isn't it obvious?
oh yeah, of course he plays so much better than me.
No, I mean I didn't
No,
mean that.
no, but
I
it
mean
is-
it's like so much fun. Like I mean you can do so much more because
No, but I mean the thing is, a lot of people, of course, me playing stand-up drums in front and singing is kind of entertaining, but it's only entertaining for 2 or 3 songs because then you have seen it and then nothing else happens because I could not move around. We could not do any static because the drum kit was always in the way.
yeah. That's what I thought. It's like, oh yeah, it's cool. Okay, what else?
Exactly. And also, like, I could not play drums properly because, of course, stand-up and just a small kit that I have, it's the minimum you can do. And also singing lacked a lot on quality because I had no air. And I could not breathe.
But I'm surprised that you mentioned that you played bass. I know you sing and you play drums. You know, like so. This is you self-learned or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I had drum lessons I had as a kid.
Yeah.
A couple of...
Well, then and that was the obvious choice why you played drums and sang.
Yeah.
Sang,
exactly.
you always wanted to.
When we started with the Zombies, I wanted to be the singer. We wanted to have a double bass player because I really loved rockabilly and psychobilly at this time. And we could not find a drummer.
Oh yes.
And I said, okay, I remember. I can. And it was just like for the beginning in the rehearsal, we can start, rehearse. I said, I will play drums. And then the first rehearsal, I also played drums, sit down, just like a normal drummer. And then when we said, okay, we keep it like this, and I said, okay, but then fuck it, I need to move in front of the stage. I want to be like frontman, so I will do the stand-up drum singing.
You know, it reminds me what you did in the beginning. It was like Evil Dead, the first part, and then when you like got the second drummer, now it's like Evil Dead 2 with more budget.
Yeah.
So the next step is go completely wild and go Army of Darkness.
Also, when you're together for such a long time,
Yeah.
You need some fresh blood in the band. We all know our stories by now.
True.
You know, we need someone new that we can tell all those stories. It's so much more fun in the tour bus now if you have someone who is still like fresh blood.
You know, if I ever have a chance to talk to Marty, you know, like Marty, like what did they tell you? like you know, like how did you harass you? Like, did they put you on the table, like on the chair, strapped you in, and like told you the stories?
Yeah, I think sometimes it is like this because when he starts putting his in-ears in the tour bus, and you know, oh, okay, he probably.
Yeah, fine. He's okay. I get it. Oh, I wanted to ask you, you know, like because you're a prop guy, right? So, do you buy fake blood or you make your fake blood?
We buy fake blood.
You buy blood.
Yeah.
Have you tried making it?
Yes. Definitely.
How was it? Like,
no, the thing is when you do fake blood, and you normally go for like
syrup.
Yeah, but the red is normally like food color.
Food coloring, yeah.
And this sticks forever.
Sticks forever and doesn't let and you
so
it dries.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was trying to do it for my project.
Because what we are doing now when we buy things like blood or the blood gore paste that we use, if you buy the professional stuff, it's gone with like one time washing.
Yeah, and I mean it's designed for all the stuff. Have you ever asked somebody to do your makeup, or you always do it yourself?
Somehow that feels wrong.
Well, as you mentioned before, it's kind of or maybe we talked between the.
What we do is when we have
meditation for you.
When we have photo shootings or video shootings, then we always ask, one of the ladies surrounded, like the girlfriends or whatever, or wives, if they can just fix something or make it a little bit more accurate.
Yeah, but don't mess with the look.
But not the full make. No, because somehow it was like we all like doing it by ourselves. I don't know. It's just like a ritual thing.
Well, it became part of you. It's like you ask somebody, like, can you change a little bit part of me? And doesn't feel right.
It's also like there's no time for that, you know. We are so. When I said we take half an hour to put our makeup on, because before that no one has time for doing it. We like to chat and drink beer and do whatever and just be hilarious or be funny or be telling jokes. And there's a stage time. Oh, okay. And so if someone is telling me, I'm going to do your makeup now, sit down. And it's like, for 2 hours? What? No, my boys are out there drinking. I want to be with them.
And also when you do the makeup, you're not just like sitting in a chair. I mean, you're like in the front, but you're still with the boys and stuff. You like talk and stuff.
Yeah, it depends on, I
mean, you're present in, that's what I mean. It's like
I used to hide now since a couple of years, because I'm doing like, since I had troubles with my vocal cords, I'm always doing the warm-up thingies, and I'm combining that with putting my makeup on. It's also when I'm doing the warm-up.
Just like James Hetfield from Metallica was like, I don't give a shit. But then later, I have this CD with me I have it for 20 years, you know, I use it all the time.
Yeah. So that's why I hide sometimes putting my makeup on, just because it's embarrassing if I do my la 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 la.
Yeah, it sounds not cool.
No. But it also doesn't sound cool if on the next day you go on stage and there's nothing coming out.
Well, that's the punk, or if you want to make it or not. I mean, it's not really punk mentality, but
I think it's nothing wrong with practicing. You know, it's also nothing wrong with playing your instrument well.
Oh my god! Oh, you're talking about punk, right? Oh,
because this is for me. This is the big bullshit lie. It's not true. I mean, all the good punk bands, they actually could play, and they could play really well for what they are doing. I mean, like, take the Sex Pistols album. This is a fucking great rock album.
Oh, I love Sex Pistols.
Definitely.
I mean,
I don't know. I think when it comes to music, Alice Cooper is obviously quite up there. And then comes the Damned and the Misfits and then the Sex Pistols. But they're all somewhere very much up there. I always admired the Sex Pistols. And that was the big thing, like, there are 3 chords now from a band. And this is a cool image, but it's not the truth. They play so much better than their image, you know what I mean? Of course, Sid Vicious was probably not the best bass player, but Glenn Matlock was. He was an absolute fantastic bass player.
Well, Sid Vicious, they took him because he looked good. They say it the same way. I even have, you see, a John Lydon book there.
Yeah.
So I checked out just kind of.
Yeah, but that's what I said. I mean, it's not embarrassing to play good, to be good in what you're doing. You know what I mean? And it also comes to singing and vocal things. If you're 16, of course you don't have to warm up your voice. Why should you? You know, you're invincible. But if you're 40, 42, 43, you go on tour, I know what happens. If I just party, if I just scream my lungs out, then the tour is over in 3 days. So,
and the responsibility.
Exactly. People pay. They want to see the band.
Hundreds of people
They want to hear me sing.
And they will listen. They will listen properly.
I mean, I'm not the greatest singer, so it's not about the voice. But still, I want to be able to perform and to do what I'm doing.
Yeah, but if you're not able to perform, you'll feel like shit, and you won't be able to perform how people want you to perform.
Exactly.
So that's the whole idea.
So besides, it sounds funny if you do the me, la 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 la.
I hate it so much.
It's still it works if you do it.
Yeah, it works. Like, you don't have to like it, but you have to do it.
Hide in the bathroom for half an hour before the show and do the shit, and then go on stage and everything's fine.
Does Alice Cooper do something like that?
I'm 100% sure he does.
I'm pretty sure also. Like everybody who's...
I mean, it also depends on how you sing. I have to say, because if you're blessed that your songs are arranged in your normal range, that you sing as you speak, I think that works forever. You can go on tour and play 300 shows or something. But if you do the belt voice and a lot of like screamings and stuff in it, if you have no technique, if you don't do any warm up, just one mistake and it's all over for that evening at least.
Everybody who are like doing the metal thing, everybody has a coach. Everybody has doing training. They drinking warm tea with, I don't know what is it like.
And you don't forget that rock and roll was not supposed to get old. All those bands, like when rock and roll came up and when heavy metal or whatever came to the surface, they were like in their 20s, in their early 20s. Of course, then you can do it. It was not supposed that Robert Plant is still going on stage with 70 something and singing Led Zeppelin songs.
Yeah, it's unusual. You were supposed to die at 27, like everybody,
Exactly.
like normal people.
So if you wanna do it longer than 27, then you have to do something like warm ups or some techniques or whatever.
It's just about your work. That's the thing. Like when you treat what you do as work. When your hobby, when something that you love becomes work, that's the hard part, to accept it.
Yeah, or when something turns,
or at least how you look at it.
Yeah, maybe I never treated the zombies like a hobby. For me, it was always, this is my job.
It's like your life.
It's
not your costume. It's not a costume. It's a way of life.
Exactly. So I would not even call it work. This is my I don't know. That's me. That's what I want to do. That's what makes me happy, basically, first of all. But it's not about that I take myself so serious, but at that moment where I see I know that people are coming who takes that serious. They pay money to see me and they expect something from me. Then you can't just not try your very best. I think that's very rude if someone's going on stage and just doesn't give a fuck about the people who paid entrance to see him. Somehow it's kind of cool. I'm a huge fan of bands, especially in the 80s, and I'm sometimes a little bit sad that those times are over, where it was dangerous to go to a punk rock show, where you did not know what you had to expect. And if you went to like one of my favorite bands, Out of the Lords of the New Church, for example, if you go to a concert, you didn't even it was not sure that Steve Bators will show up, and if he shows up, in which state of mind he's gonna be. But it was the 80s, and it was also like you paid, I don't know, way less entrance, way less money to get to the show. By now, it's like if people decide to go to your concert and they're willing to pay the entrance, they expect you to perform, and they expect you to be at least trying your best. I don't think that like 20 years ago, Marilyn Manson was one of the last rock stars who had like the image that he might just leave the stage after 2 songs. Mm-hmm. I don't think you could do that anymore now. A new band now with an image like, they might not gonna play because they don't give a fuck about their fans. I'm not sure if they would get famous.
The last person who can do it still is Morrissey, and that's it.
Yeah, but he's a very special kind of plant.
Absolutely, but that's it. Yeah. Only him, and that's it.
But I also think that Morrissey, if he would not be him,
yeah,
he could be so much bigger and so much more appreciated. But he kind of blew his career on several terms.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he's like imagine David Bowie, but saying no to.
I mean, those people who are still sticking with Morrissey, they used to take a lot of shit already. I'm sorry, but it's like, for me at least, it is. I love the Smiths, for example, but I can't. It's. Like,
I mean, when I read the news, oh my God, the hundreds of people didn't, or like thousands of people like didn't see Morrissey play because he said like whatever, they can do. Like, yeah, okay, fuck that. Come on, man. I understand, but and also people like, come on, people.
But it was not cool. You know what I mean?
It was not cool. No,
yeah,
no.
But when Marilyn Manson did not play a show, it was kind of cool to be at the show he did not do.
In the beginning, yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That kind of attitude. And there was still the spirit from the 80s where it was a little bit more dangerous, a little bit less business. Rock and roll was still like, meh. And I think this is gone. People would not would not think it's cool if you cancel your concerts several times without any real reason.
I mean, I can tell you how I would feel. Like, oh man, I took a vacation for the next day so they can be here, and you're not there. I could have like gone to another place because you're not the only one.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also like we, as I said, what music turned into took also the subcultures and the subgenres with it. It's an entertainment thing now. It's not a lifestyle thing. It's for most people, it's the entertainment. You pay to see a band and they should give their best. And you go there with the expectation, they entertain me now. You know, you would not go to a Sex Pistol concert with like the attitude, so come on boys, go on stage and entertain me now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But this is how we feel nowadays, because this is actually the I don't know, this is our time. It is music is not as important, and you don't appreciate the artist as an artist. He's a musician who's doing like entertainment.
But no, not but. What I meant to say is like we came back to the times when artists were not artists. They considered like humans anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're back to
like
the
to
time
Elvis and stuff, where it was like a machine. You do entertain, we play.
Yeah, we're now to the real show business time,
Yeah.
where you need to entertain. You're not poets anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of.
And that was like when I grew up, and all those bands that I admired was more the I mean, they were bands that were huge, even if they weren't huge, but I would never expect them to be like entertaining me, and I am the one I give the money, so I'm the boss here in the room. You know what I mean? I was always like I'm small and you're big and you are up there. And
well, that's how I feel like to the musicians these days. I mean,
if
like
you go to a big rock festival and look at the audience, and then you see how different it is nowadays. And also like the bands, how they act, it's more like there's no big difference between rock and roll and something like Mallorca Ballermann entertainment.
Yes.
You know? So come on now, we all move and we do the wall of death and we do this and we do that. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so much effort from people on stage to entertain the crowd.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like, I don't know. That's not what Lemmy told us.
What I wanted to ask is that you said that your most valuable possession is your Vincent Price book signed, right?
It's up there.
You know, I checked online what it is. You know, I was like, wow, this is a really cool book.
It's a good book, yeah.
I mean, it's it's huge, first of all, like physically huge. And it's like, have you ever tried to cook something from it? Or you just...
Honestly, no.
No. It's mainly for the autograph.
But I should. You're totally right. I should cook something from the book. I never did. I don't know.
I advise you to buy an ebook version or whatever, second version.
I would not take this one into
the kitchen.
Don't. No.
Actually, my next question was like how do you store it? Because they know like it's most valuable, but now I see it.
It's up there.
It's up there. It's not for people to take, to smell.
No, I can take it down if you want me to.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll check the online version. No, I just don't want to be a person who like fucked up.
But I'm not one of those persons who like they are very dear to me, and they have how to say, they are important to me. But I'm not one of those persons who does not unwrap things, who keep them in the box. I always open everything. I want to have them here and I want to touch them. You know what I mean? So even I know I also could put that into plastic folio or whatever, into a closed thing, so it will not get anything. But it's not how I am. I want to have it here. I want to see it.
Yeah, because I didn't expect that they will end up here, you know, like looking at the real stuff. So I was prepared to ask, how does it look like? Is it like in a small window or on a frame?
No, it's not in the window. It's just up there. Same with all the figurines and everything. Whatever. I always open them. I know then they lose their value, but for me, they're toys. I want to have them. I want to touch them.
Well, as I understand, there are different kinds of collectors.
I would never sell them anyway.
Yeah, there are different kind of collectors. One who like have this mint and everything in a box and all the stuff, and you are a different kind. How do you organize your collection? Is there like some idea?
There was the achievement of the pandemic of the lockdown.
I was about to ask, what did you do?
That's how I spent time. I made it in alphabetical order.
Oh, shit.
Which I hated always, but I started to buy things double and triple.
Why?
Because I forgot that I already have it.
Oh. Did you go into the shopping spree online and
yeah, and also like I'm a big like Schnäppchen, cheap shoppings.
Yeah.
So like flea markets and whatever, or buying collections. And then if like I had my personal kind of organization of the films, how I put them, but then I could not, like, now it's easy. If I'm not sure, do I already have it? I can find at least this is like the section where it should be. If it's not there, I buy it.
Which one do you have the most? Which one did you buy a lot, but you forgot?
No, there are a couple of films that I have like 2 or 3 times just because I bought them on VHS and on DVD and on Blu-ray and on whatever.
So it's like a reissue.
Yeah, I have them in different versions on purpose.
Do you still? You have VHS. Yes, I was about to
I have
ask.
a second one in the cellar if this one breaks down, so that I'm safe for at least for my lifetime, I would say.
That was one of my questions, like later on, but I want to ask now. It's like, is there a movie that wins that it's on VHS?
Yes.
Oh, which one?
Actually, for example, when I talked about before the whole underground horror films, the amateur,
Necromantic and
they look much better on VHS, or like the old thing when it was not digital. They sometimes they filmed on normal video cameras, and then they copied it to 16 millimeters, so it looks a little bit more cinematic, and it worked. Then it looked better, like Necromantic. It looked much better when they blew it up on a 32 millimeters film, and then when they put it back on DVD, all this is gone again. It looks like, okay, this is with video camera.
Mm-hmm.
So some of those films, also like when you, for example, Ghostbusters is one of my favorite movies, and when you look that's for how I used to see it on VHS when I was a kid, like 100 times, and then the first time on DVD, and then it's on the rooftop scene, for example. Everything is so cheap because you can see everything. You can see that it's just a stage thing.
Ah, yeah, I understand. Yeah,
the VHS, it was dark, so you could not see so many details. So it looked much better. It looked, I don't know, it was more believable.
Do you sometimes play VHS movies,
Totally.
like of the movies that you like, but VHS?
The thing is that since like around 10 years, I watch everything in like English original versions.
Yeah.
And the VHS tapes are all the dubbed German versions.
Okay. So you need to make a choice between that.
Exactly. So I sometimes prefer watching the DVD or the Blu-ray or even a stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, you're one of those. You even stream.
Sometimes.
Well, some things you can't find on in a physical format at all.
Yeah, true.
For example, like when I was a child, I saw, like, talking about the movies that scarred us for life. Some kind of Italian horror zombie movie when they're somewhere in the hospital and stuff. You're trying to figure out which one
it is.
No,
you say Italian zombie horror movie. I'm quite sure I have it.
Yeah, it's like a mutants. Once I found it, it's on IMDb somewhere. There is a website, second website from the website of 366 cult movies, and they have a second website which is where you can ask questions and try to find the movies that you don't remember. You explain the scene and somebody finds it for
Awesome.
you. And I found all my childhood, whatever, like even if it's a frame, somebody could help me out and find it. And then in the end, I found that movie, but it was not as I remembered it, because I think it was a mix of several movies together, as usual, But it's like VHS. I remember the VHS tapes and like mutants, whatever. But like one of my questions is like, so your first movie was the Landhaus der Totenseelen, like the one that you saw as a child, as a movie. And then the one that you scared you the most was Exorcist when you were 8 years old.
Yeah.
Right. And my question is like, if you could choose a movie that would scar you for life or would influence, which would it now, if you could choose which movie would influence you for the rest of your life as a child, because we usually don't choose. It just happens, For me, like, I can tell you, like, there was a spider movie, Arachnophobia, that fucked me up. I have a phobia now for that. Maybe
it's a great film.
Yeah, it's a great film. Maybe I had the phobia before, I'm not sure. I never know, but I still remember the horrible feelings I had.
I still would go for The Exorcist. It's still one of the best films ever made.
It is. And I only saw like Exorcist only relatively like recently, like 10 years ago or something.
I mean, as much as I love horror, but The Exorcist is still, it's very special somehow. It's very serious somehow. There's nothing funny in that movie, nothing. It's a depressing, evil movie somehow. And that's what I really like. It never normally you have whatever, if it's Jaws or what of those classic movies, you always have those moments where you can, you just relax again. And it's just a movie, it's fun. The Exorcist is like badass from beginning till the end, for me at least. It always has like this depression undertone all the time.
But for you, when you saw it, you were the outer boy.
Exactly. Yeah, it fucked up also like my religious beliefs somehow, because at this point, when I was 8, I was still kind of, I was raised Catholic, so I still was like in the whole Jesus thingy, believing that.
Yeah, so for you it was double real.
And I was, oh my God, Satan. And for me, the demon possessing that kid, that could happen to me. I was like shit scared in bed at night that if a demon would now like get into my body or whatever.
And people couldn't come to you and say, it's not real, but the devil. No.
Because
like the devil is real, but exactly. the movie that you saw is not real.
And also, there's a scene everybody knows who has seen The Exorcist remembers that the crucifix scene. If you see it as a kid, that fucks you up because the whole sexual perverted thingy. It's something hard to cope with when you're 8 years old and you don't know shit.
It's just like for not even like an 8-year-old, but like for if you watch it like with fresh eyes, you've never seen Exorcist.
Yeah,
it's still like
shocking.
It's still shocking because it's so real.
But as I said, I still think it's one of the best horror movies because it's so grim and everything. The soundtrack, the colors, everything in the film is so grim. I love it.
And the jumping off in the window and stuff. It's devastating.
Yeah. It's one, and also the second one that fucked me up pretty bad as a kid was Night of the Living Dead, because the whole cannibalism thing was like seeing people eating other people. And there's like one scene, you don't see much in Night of the Living Dead, but there's one flesh-eating scene. And someone was biting into a human hand. That fucked me up totally. And they're two of my favorite movies now.
So you would choose this movie still?
Yeah. There are so many more, even more terrifying or even more like hard to take films that were produced.
Cannibal Holocaust. It would fuck you up even worse.
Yeah,
but they show the animal torture and
still,
stuff.
Comparing to The Exorcist, it doesn't have that class.
Exorcist is like going deep into the
also it has a story to tell. It has a like so many different layers also in the story, and all the actors are great and everything. Cannibal Holocaust is a great film, but it's way more simple and way more like it's shocking and it hits you in the guts, but it's very much in your face. The Exorcist works on different layers.
Cannibal is a exploitation, classic exploitation movie.
I'm also very sure The Exorcist does not work for people nowadays as much as it did for me, because you need that religious background that it really hits you. If you have like at least like what I did at this time, I've spent every Saturday evening in church, then that film gets you. If you don't have any religious connection at all, then probably the film is not even so scary.
Yeah, but and also because all the new movies are based on the old movies, or The Exorcist. So each time they had to be even scarier and stuff. So, like for me, like it's hard for me to watch horror movies because I get so frightened a lot.
Really?
Yes, I'm like a sissy about.
I envy you. Because
I
I lost that. I lost that feeling.
I heard that. I stopped watching. Well, not stopped, but I realized that it's painful for me to watch it.
Okay, no, it sucks.
In 2003 when the Ring, the American version came. I saw the American version, and it was my introduction to the Japanese horror, and it was not pleasant.
Okay. Then it's not good.
It's the anticipation of the scare and the scare happening.
Yeah.
It's like the muscles hurt, my ears hurt, everything hurts.
Yeah, and you just feel uncomfortable.
It's just
For
uncomfortable.
me, I always like being scared, or like that goosebumps feeling, and that, but it was always kind of pleasant for me.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that, like in general. I mean, you're a horror fan, and there are many other people who like horror, but this feeling of
I think it's
enjoying
basically-
it.
It's the same like a roller coaster ride. People who really enjoy roller coasters, I can't do it. I'm so scared of heights. I can't do it. It's not funny for me. And it's nothing. It's not even a relief. It's also not the adrenaline kicking in. It's just like I'm terrified.
It's just not your thing.
It's not my thing. But I think it's basically the same with me and horror films, or with a lot of people in horror films. I have the same kind of pleasant. I'm scared, but it's a relief, and it's adrenaline, and I just like it, and I like the calm after the shock.
Does it have to do something with like a horror equals violence equals sexual energy kind of?
I don't know. I really don't know. I always liked spooky stuff. I always liked ghosts and skeletons. I don't know. I've been addicted to skulls and skeletons as a kid. Whenever there was a skeleton or a skull on a comic or a book, I wanted to have it. My first T-shirt I really wanted, it was like a big skull and a big spider. The skull was caught in the spider web, and a big tarantula somewhere in Italy on holiday with my parents, and I really wanted to have that shirt. Ghost rides was like magnetic to me, like a ghost house thing. I always loved that. I was so like, I just thought it's cool. Of course, it's spooky and cool, but it always like a I don't know. There's maybe something like, do you dare watching this? Do you dare doing things like a? But for me, I don't know. It was
But dare
always,
for yourself, right?
yeah, exactly. Or get a little bit of a thicker skin when I confront myself with that things,
For me, I was always a sissy when I saw like all the classic movies that you can think of. I saw them as a child also, but for me, it's like they stayed with me for a long time. I could hear the voices behind me, like Poltergeist with a child like trapped in a fucked up.
Yeah. For me, it was more like when I watched the film, it really scared me. Then I got super excited about it, and it's like this. Oh my God, so great. And the director, I need to support the whole project because it was so great what they did. You know what I mean? It always turned into something very positive in me, It's not that there was like one or two films like Exorcist, Night of the Living Dead, maybe two or three more where I got nightmares from. They really took me somewhere. But on the other hand, all the other films like Poltergeist, Hellraiser, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy, Jason, Chucky, it was just excitement, like this is the greatest. And for it's like with music, like Alice Cooper or like punk rock or whatever, it just really was a lift up in my life somehow.
But they're in a way they're kind of different in a way that like Jason and Freddy, they're like entertainment, and Exorcist is trying to get into like deep horror inside of you.
But normally you start watching those films when you're a little bit more adult than
it's true. Yeah.
And then when you have been through your Freddy, Jason, and Leatherface, whatever phase, and then you really appreciate the adult horror films that really go psychologically deep, because then you feel scared again, and you can also see how they made it happen, that it really gets that deep into yourself, how good the actors are, how good the dialogues are, whatever, the filmmaking process. Because that what happened quite early with me, that I appreciated the filmmaking process, the makeup effect, the music, whatever. I was heavily into special effects and makeups. That's what I wanted to do when I was 15.
Savini.
Exactly. And into music, when also like scores and film soundtracks. So I have a huge collection of horror film soundtracks.
Goblin.
Yeah, exactly. Goblin, all those great composers, Goldsmith and wow, I don't know, Harry Manfredini and all those people. It's like that's the magic. That's where the magic happens. You have good actors, a story to tell, good effects, the music, and then so that's what I said also before when it comes to horror films. It's so I switch from the genres and the layers, and it never gets boring to me because the horror genre is so big. You can grow on it also with your age. Like films that I loved when I was 16 and films that I love now are very much different.
What's your favorite subgenre now? And what was before?
That's tricky because right now I watched the Jordan Peele film Nope, and there's a side story with a chimpanzee who's going crazy, and I was not so fond of the whole film in general, but that side story with the chimpanzee really
was cool.
kicked me.
They never explained it.
After that, I was very much into animal horror and watching a lot of the whole monkey horror films like.
Are there many?
No, there was like two or three that really has like an.
They're good to do enough to
mainly
watch.
about a killing monkey. It's like Link the butler, and the other one is from. Damn it! What's A Monkey Shines, from Romero.
Oh yes.
So that was my latest thing where I was really like this. Ooh, are there more? And I could not find any more actually than those two.
Yeah,
films.
monkey. I don't know monkeys. With the dogs, we have the Stephen King one,
Yeah.
and the rest. But cats also.
Yeah.
Monkeys not so much.
But I don't know. There was like, of course, zombie movies was a big thing to me for a very long time. Then it got so many like direct-to-video production. It was so cheap and so cheesy that it got just too many. They watered it down the genre somehow with a lot of shitty films.
True.
But it was one of my favorite genres in the beginning. Vampire films are always a big thing to me. The good ones, not the Twilight things, not the romantic things, the one where they try to make vampires scary. I love that. I love those old films like Vincent Price or Hammer horror films because they're like soul food to me. They're like comfy movies to watch on a Sunday morning. I had a phase where I was very much into the whole post-apocalyptic thingy, like Mad Max, and then there was a lot of those cheap Italian rip-offs that I loved a lot. There was the whole Toxic Terror Tracks album. I was like for half a year was just watching post-apocalypse films, and then the album happened. Werewolves are always a big thing. Whenever there's a werewolf film, I have to have it somehow.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but it's like, because I always think, there are not so many, I need to have them all. But of course there are a lot.
I think the new one came out recently, something new. Netflix, maybe. I don't want to confuse you. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it could be, but I'm not sure.
If I remember it, I'll send you the link for the previous link.
Cannibal films, I had a phase. I'm always switching back to sometimes. In general, Italian horror films was always a big thing to me. And cannibal films, like every couple of years, I have a phase where I watch them all. Like I have to watch them from Mondo Cannibale until to Cannibal Ferox. And
that's a lot.
It's great.
Oh, Jesus.
And then the whole underground horror films, as I said.
Oh, another kind of worms.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So it's a genre that it's like you never get bored with it. It's sometimes, even now, I feel the older I get, first of all, I can't. There was a time in my life where I think I have been very much up to date with everything that came out, and I have seen everything. But now it's too much, and I'm also it's too much. I'm not really up to date with everything. Also with streamings, I don't like watching so much streams and Netflix and Prime or whatever.
Well, the thing is, like, it's the quality went down with the streaming. It's just not the same.
It's also not the same to me. If I need that thing that I hunt something or that I find something and I buy it and then I want to watch it. If I'm just going online, same with music. If I like something, I have to find it and I have to buy it.
So you go. I mean, I see you have a lot of vinyl.
Yeah.
And I see you have a vinyl player with the Motorhead logo on it, just for some people. And you have Jack Daniels also whiskey, like for some fans of Motorhead. And yeah, and of course everything is like Alice Cooper and skulls. And then, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. It's hard to explain. It's like, you know, even it's like it's easier to. Not easier, but better to say it in audio than to show it because you don't. I mean, it's a lot.
It's my home. It's how I rule, how I live.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's a museum.
It's just normal.
You're living in a museum. You're living in a dream. About Alice Cooper, right? So the best movie featuring Alice Cooper. Featuring, not Jason 6.
I would say when it comes to the movie, I think Prince of Darkness is the best one.
Yeah,
wise. Because the other movies where he's into the movies are not that good. But I really like Monster Dog because he's the main lead in the film. So he's the main actor. Even if the movie is not that great, it's a cheap Spanish werewolf film. And Alice Cooper has a mullet in that film, so that's a little bit tricky. But I love that one. Then also there are very old films where the band was involved. For example, Sextet with Mae West. It's from the late 60s. It's the whole Alice Cooper band playing in that film. And Diary of a Desperate Housewife is another film where the whole band, but they play just in there for one song performance. I like those ones because they have like some kind of historical value to see the whole band in their very early stage of career.
So you like it because of the documenting part of it,
exactly. of Alice Cooper.
Yes,
mainly. Roadie, which I always loved. It's a film with Meatloaf in the main thingy, and Alice Cooper is a sidekick. He's like there's also Blondie in it and Roy Orbison. So it's a rock and roll film. And I always loved it, but honestly, I haven't seen it for quite some time. And just a couple of months ago, I rewatched it with a friend of mine who has never seen it. And I came to a point that time has changed. Maybe it's not as good as I remember it for different reasons. I mean, the Alice Cooper part is awesome, but the whole movie in general with like the message of the film is like, oof. I don't know.
And you're like, wait for this. Oh,
no, because I was like, you have to see this. It's such a great film. It's so awesome. And then she was like, oof,
I'm not sure.
If this is really so good. But yeah, I mean, it's also like, I also watched Wayne's World again, and I also had it better in my head than it used to be.
You know, like each time, like when you mention Alice Cooper, I always remember Wayne's World. So like, we're not worthy and all that stuff. And
also, yeah, his scene is great, but the rest of it's still a great movie, but it's not aging as well as I thought.
That's true. Also, I rewatched it recently. The same idea. Yeah.
I mean, it's great. The second part is horrible. The first one works quite okay.
Have you seen the movie? I think it's called Suck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
featuring.
Yeah.
It was good. It was
good, and I loved his coat, the red coat. He looks awesome in it. Yeah, I like that one too. But from a movie point, I would say it's The Prince of Darkness. It is the best film.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen all the movies for What do you think? How did he chooses the movies to film, knowing that you know Alice Cooper? Do you think you know Alice Cooper pretty well, or you know his public image?
No, I think I know him a little bit more than the public image, but I'm a fan. I don't know him personally, so I would not say that I know.
I'm glad that you realized that where are your borders regarding that.
Exactly. No, it's ridiculous because I don't know him. But I mean, if you follow someone for that long of a period, you kind of understand how he's rolling, at least, or what And I mean, the films he picked, I think he likes playing cameos or like small parts in movies, and he takes what he get offered if he's interested in. And sometimes it's like, it's a horror film, it's a cheap film, so they definitely can't pay much for whatever, but he's just supporting it, like the attic expectation. What is it called? The attic experience or attic expectation? I'm sorry, I can't remember. It's over there. Film. Or there's a Bigfoot movie, which is quite trashy. There is also like for 2 seconds in it. But then also like Dark Shadows, if Tim Burton and Johnny Depp is, of course he's in it somehow, if they ask, I guess, I would say.
Well, I think from what I heard also, like, I mean, I'm not a big fan, not that of the fan, but from what I saw, it's like he just appreciates creativity.
Yeah, I think so too.
A lot. And if a person has a distinct voice, he wants to be a part of it. He just wants to hang out with cool people. I mean, in a way. Also, he's also a fan.
Definitely, and he's a horror fan, and he supports horror films and stuff. So, I don't know. I think it would surprise me if he's in a romantic comedy, even if it might be funny. He was in a sitcom with Gene Wilder. It was called Something Wilder, and it's awesome. I love it. It was like 2 episodes or 3 episodes. It's a classic early 80s sitcom, and he was the bad rock and roll neighbor.
Oh, it's awesome. Totally his thing. What's like, I sent you, like, for the listeners, so I for the listeners to know, I sent you like a huge list. I think it's a huge list of movies, right?
Yeah.
And we can go. I mean, I'm torturing already you for like 2 hours at least.
It's no torture.
Well, you. Oh, all right.
It's gonna be torture for you to edit the whole thing here.
Yes. It will. Especially it's coming out next week on Wednesday.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I'm on holiday. I took a holiday off, so I have enough time. But on Tuesday, I need to record an episode with Hippie Death Cult.
Okay.
They're coming to Vienna, so I already arranged it with them. So hopefully tomorrow and on Sunday I will edit all this stuff. So we're talking about horror movies. We already talked about the childhood. What about the movie, the film that made you to change thinking about life?
I don't know. I don't think any movie made me think changing my life.
You know, like most of the categories, I mean, I was just writing like, maybe it will work. I don't know. Maybe it's possible. You never know.
Yeah. No, I don't think a movie really made me.
Except Return of the Living Dead.
Yes, but no,
kind of.
But no, it was more like a
inspiration.
No, it was when you have like a movie. It's exactly how I roll. You know, it's more like a you understand me. Thingy, you know, just
that's cool.
Getting a connection to something. Yeah, exactly. That's how I think and how I feel.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But that's in a way, it's finding spirit, common spirit.
Yeah, exactly. That's more like it. But a movie that really made me change my.
Well, usually like.
I mean, okay. Actually, I have something. Okay, I have really something, and this is a really bad movie, and this is really like this is super cheesy. There's a film. It's called in Germany, and I think in most Europe. In most of Europe, it's called American Ice Cream Part 2. It was promoted like one of those early 80s or middle 80s sex comedies, you know, titties and cool high school kids and whatever. Like, I don't know, there was a couple of films like this, like for teenagers who wanted to see like something fun and some nudity or whatever. Which was not. It was just promoted like this. It was not a sex comedy. It was a comedy film about some high school kids going to a park, like a lake thingy, and there was like some company doing a lot of like messed up thing pollution wise, like putting their chemistry into the lake and whatever, and they fight against it, which nothing really to know about. But it was 2 heavy metal kids in that film, and it was the first heavy metal kids I ever seen. They was just actors, but they was dressed up because it was popular at this time. The whole Sunset Strip, Motley Crue thing, it was just really big. So they had those characters in the film. And I got so excited about that. I was like 5, 6 years old, whatever. I really wanted to look like this, long hair and studs and leather.
They looked cool.
They looked just awesome. And they was the good kids. They was the 2 ones with like everybody thought they are the bad ones. And then in the end, they was the good ones somehow. They was just the funny, good kids. And they also had a band. Ted Nugent is in that film. He's doing a cameo, which is by now.
Everybody will need to check this movie out.
It's called Heavy Metal Summer or State Park.
Okay.
Those are the 2 original titles. And there was those 2 heavy metal guys in that film. And that changed my life, actually. But I was like 5, 6, 7 years old, something like this, really early. But it was the first time that I really saw like heavy metal kids. Because I'm from the countryside, so I'm really much from the countryside. There was no one. I knew bands. My parents or my father and my uncle, they listened to Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and stuff like this. But I've never seen that. I've never
like
seen
real life, how it looks like in real life, like the people.
As I said, the whole 80s heavy metal, glam metal thingy, and that changed my life because from then on, I really wanted to be like one of them.
You understand? That's what I really like.
Yeah.
Wanna be, maybe.
Yeah. I really got attracted by the whole style and I don't know, everything.
It was so cool that you wanted to be part of it.
And there also was the outsiders, those 2. It was the one everyone was poking their fingers on them. Like,
are you an outsider?
Oh my God, yes.
Because of who you are?
Because of different
Of
reasons.
who you are. I mean, everything that you did and liked.
Everything, and also like my parents. My parents live in the next village. Oh, it's a long story.
It's a long podcast, but at this point.
My mother was a kindergarten teacher.
My mother also.
And of course, she took me into her kindergarten when I was turning like, I don't know how old you are when you go into kindergarten, 5, 4,
yeah, I guess.
5, something like that.
I also don't.
Of course, she took me with her into her kindergarten. But it was not the kindergarten of the village where I was living. It was the village next to it. And of course, from the kindergarten, I went to school there too. So I was already the one who's not from the village, who's the outsider. So people did not like me because I was a foreigner to them somehow.
Outsider, yes.
Yeah. Like the local racism. That was the beginning. And then also when I turned, as I said, like I saw those 2 guys in that film and I wanted to dress like them. I wanted to have an earring. Of course, I was gay for having an earring. No one else, no boy in my class had an earring. And then they
gay, man.
Yeah, exactly. So, but somehow I started liking it. I liked it that they did not want to be around me or that I'm the outsider because it made me special somehow too. And I very clearly knew that I don't want to go that way, what they are going to, because I had interests in, soon after that it was Alice Cooper and music and horror, and they was all just listening to the top 40 and doing the
mainstream stuff.
Yeah, doing, I don't know what they did, but it was just all boring to me and something that, as I said, I joined a band when I turned 13. Somehow I really felt like if they did not like me, so who cares? I don't want to be with them anyway. They have nothing to offer that will make my life better.
At least you understood that. I mean, there's some people who wanted to be a part of the group and suffered for that.
Yeah, no. Very early on, I did not suffer on that because I know I don't want to be with them anyway. I'm gonna show you a state park picture just so you know how the guys looked like that I wanted to be.
So Richy is gonna show me the photo and I will describe it to you in a second. And considering how I describe things like, what the hell is that? What the fuck is that? You'll get an idea of what he's talking about. Oh shit. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Outsider is your yeah. You never wanted to be in the mainstream. I get it.
And that was the other one.
Yes. All right. Everybody should check out this movie.
Heavy Metal Summer
Heavy Metal Summer. Check it out. You
changed
get
my life. I think I'm the only person on earth who would say that that Heavy Metal Summer changed his life.
everybody, all the fans of the zombies, check it out because this is like an eye opening. I mean, if you and you were dressing like that.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
I mean, in a cheap version and a self-made version, but yes,
Oh man, you're so fucked. You're so fucked.
totally.
You're so fucked. But you kept with it till the end.
Yeah, sure. I still dress like this
You
sometimes.
still dress like that. Yes,
stage,
yes,
I have
yes.
a lot
Till
of
the
those.
end. You're the. In this way, you are a hero to many people who want to be like that. You're like. I wanted to ask that. Like, I'm pretty sure that there are people who look at you like you look at Alice Cooper. I mean, it's you don't have to say that you like it or don't like it. You just there is. I'm pretty sure there are some people like that.
Maybe, I don't know. Could be.
Could be. I don't know. But it's just like when you a person like you stuck with it. You know, it takes a lot of courage, especially like in a small village, and going with it the whole life. It's really really hard, and there's so many easy way outs you could take.
But there was never the question. There was no easy way out. You know?
No, easy way out is to say no to all the stuff that you love
Exactly. That's what I said.
and
but
be
you
with the
can't-
rest of the people so that you can hang out on the weekend.
But I don't think that.
Or be invited to a birthday party.
But honestly, I think if you are like that, if you're like how I grew up, you never question yourself that it could be easier. Because
There's this thing is sometimes people don't know what they love. You know?
Okay,
They're
that could
lost.
be.
They're lost.
maybe I was very strong in a way of I know what I want and I know what I like. That I was very stubborn with that. That could be that's maybe a plus point on my side growing up, that my ego was not so ruptured, that I was like, as I said, I was totally fine with not having friends, because when I was a kid, I had my cat, I had my drum kit, I had Alice Cooper, I had my VHS player. I did not need any friends. But I'm still today, I'm not one of those. I can be alone for quite a long time without not having any problems.
Me too. But that's what I want to say. That you're not afraid, first of all, not to be alone and going against the grain
Yeah.
of other people, and you never wanted to be like in part of the group that
Yeah.
you were growing up.
I also very much liked the whole thing. Like, if the same thing with punk rock, it was fun to be looked at and to be like people on the streets. You know, are like not scared, but they at least don't appreciate you being around. I liked that. I don't know why. I always liked shocking people a little bit. I always liked being not normal till the day. As soon as I'm feeling like my hairstyle or whatever is getting more and more like common, I change it. I don't want to have it. Like when
So
the whole
what's the
thing,
next step?
I don't know. I mean, it's not really much of a hairstyle that I'm having, but there was like a time when the whole flat top hairstyle, like the psychobilly hairstyle, became
yeah.
very popular.
Oh, you had it for a long time.
I had it for a long time, and then everyone was wearing it. First of all, the whole psychobilly thing was I got a little bit bored. Is the wrong word, because I hate saying that you get bored of something that you really loved and that you kind of had like a connection to it. But the whole psychobilly thing was I would say a little bit tricky, and I needed to have that relief too. It's like I shaved off my flat top in Spain at the psychobilly meeting the last day that I've been there, because I was so bored of all the time the same bands all the time. Nothing has happened, no progress. People are very much stubborn that it needs to be like this. Also the way how they treated me and my band, that is like, it's against their beliefs that you are open-minded when it comes to put some different influence into your music. Anyway, it's a long story, but as soon as I recognized things getting more like a mainstream thingy, then I'm out because I don't want to be the mainstream.
No, you're a creative type, and the creative type needs to change all the time so that you feel like who you are yourself.
Yeah.
So if you feel that it's like becoming a mainstream in a way, it's like I don't want to be there. I just want to like do something different.
Yeah.
And each time you try to like find a way. Like for example, there's like the Ghosts. They have like stages of how they change the looks. You also have the stage how I liked with the mustache, like the Winston Price, right? Yeah. Awesome. Then you had the flat top. I mean, before that, I mean, it's you mix all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we're all excited to see what you're gonna do next.
Hairstyle wise, not so much.
But you have hair, you know. Like I'm
Still
losing
have
hair,
it.
you know. Yeah.
It's also, I mean, I'm getting old.
Yeah, but like I started losing hair when I was 27, you know, like and stuff. So you know, like you're fine. Trust me. But like talking about the movies, right? Let's go like quickly down the list, you know, so that we can record it. I don't want to like bother you too much, but I still want to go down the list.
Sure. Go ahead.
So the movie that gave you the worst nightmares, probably The Exorcist.
It is The Exorcist and Night of the Living Dead.
Yes. The movie that you want to unsee.
The Ghostbusters with Melissa McCarthy.
The third one.
Yeah, that was one of the films where I really was close to leave the cinema.
Oh, you watched it? You paid for it?
Yeah, of course. I'm such a huge Ghostbusters fan, and I did not expect this to happen. You know, I was fine with the whole idea that why should not the new generation Ghostbusters be women? That could be super cool, actually. But everything, I mean, it was so against what fans wanted to see in that film.
And I know that you don't like to go to cinemas, right? You like prefer to be at home, right? And you went to cinema for the Ghostbusters for that movie. Oh no!
I think it was one of the last films that really upset me so much that I wish I would have never seen it.
For me, it was the Suicide Squad, but the one that nobody likes.
The first one.
Well, with Will Smith.
Really? Okay, I think I have not even seen that one.
With Will Smith and so anyway, I got offended. And okay, the movie that you watch hundreds of times.
Oh, there are several ones, but all the classics because I'm always going back to them. As I said, I have my
but one that you like really like hardcore watch all the time, or not really.
Definitely Exorcist is
still
one that I have seen a lot of times. Texas Chainsaw I have seen a lot of times.
Man, Texas Chainsaw was so messed up.
Yeah. Freddy, all the Nightmare and Friday the 13th films, and Pinhead, like Hellraiser, the first 3 parts, 4.
Have you seen the latest Hellraiser?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Those films I have seen a lot of times. Evil Dead I have seen a lot of times. When it comes to like not horror films, I really love horror comedies. I've seen like Ghostbusters definitely around 50 times, I would say. Both parts, part 1, part 2. Beetlejuice, of course, I love. In general, there's a film called Monster Squad.
Yes.
I love that one. I have seen that. I don't know how many times I've seen that one. And Lost Boys. I've seen Lost Boys so many times. Hammer horror films. Bela Lugosi's Dracula. All those films I have seen a number of times. Because I'm always going back to them. I have my phases where I watch, as I said before, the cannibal films. And I watch them all. And then I watch all the Friday the 13th films. Like in a row. Like in a week or something. Every day another one. I'm doing this since 30 years almost now.
So you watch and rewatch a lot of movies.
Yes, yeah, I do that. Sometimes I rewatch more than I watch new ones.
Oh, because they're so good.
Because I'm already I'm fine with my collection.
And also because the new movies that come out, not many can challenge the old movies.
I would not even say that because there are so many great movies that came out lately. There was in the 90s, there was really a part where nothing happened. There was nothing happening. When I started collecting horror films, like for real, when I was really into it and I started buying the fan scenes and being like in the whole community a little bit active, there was nothing in the cinemas until Scream happened. When Scream hit the cinemas and then the whole teeny horror thing, slasher films revival started, then there was horror films again. But before that, I was really like longing for, is there any new horror film coming out directly on VHS or whatever? There was nothing or barely nothing. And nowadays you have like, and then it was like, it doesn't matter if it's good or not, at least it's a new horror film. You know, there was just so little once that everything was appreciated.
And now?
A lot of good stuff is coming out. Like
Hereditary and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. The things from Jordan Peele, T. West stuff, I like a lot. Hereditary is awesome. I recently watched Man, that I really liked.
I need to check it out. I haven't watched it. Heard about
The Black Phone was okay. It was not the best one, but it was okay. But still, I mean, there's so many great films. Also, a lot of the remakes worked really well for me. I really like the Hills Have Eyes remakes, for example. I really like the Evil Dead remake.
Yes, Evil Dead remake was cool.
I mean, there was really a lot of good films coming out, and still, I don't know, at least 1, 2, or 3 films a year that really blew my mind. It's like, oh, that's the future of horror.
For me, it was It Follows.
Yeah, it's great. I love
Great
it too.
movie. Yeah. Concept is completely, I don't think there's concept like that.
I also love the whole Conjuring and Insidious franchise.
Yes,
I love it. So, no, I think there's very much coming also ahead.
It's still going.
Still going, and you don't need... I mean, I love all the old classics, and of course I rewatch them all the time because sometimes I'm just in the mood for them.
Neil Blomkamp stepped into the new direction of the when the horror inside of the game, or what was it, like simulation or something like this. And that's a new step. There's going to be a new genre regarding that, the virtual reality and all that stuff.
Starting with Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, Cabin in the Woods. Yes.
And the first one in that case was... probably not the first one, but one of the first ones was Brain Scan.
What was it? I forgot.
Brain Scan is a film.
80s?
Edward Furlong. It's the late 80s. Or no, I think this is a 90s film.
90s, yeah.
Edward Furlong is playing a kid who's buying a video game, and the video game is more like a serial killer game, and then it turns out the more he's playing the game, the more the things are happening for real.
Is it when the game is like many people can play this game and it's like part of it?
No.
No. It's a different one.
That's a different one. That's one. That one is called something Alive.
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
No, Brain Scan is then you have like the evil character from the game, the host or the video game host or whatever. His name is Trickster. And when we're coming to your style question, he's very much high in there. He looks great.
All right. You're already like anticipating the questions. Okay, it's the sickest movie you ever saw. Probably it's like in a range of exploitation movies, I would guess.
Yes, but I'm not into sick movies that much. And
it's not like something that really disgusted you. It's like what was the Serbian film, right? That I wouldn't watch.
The Serbian
film?
Yeah, I did not watch. No, I don't want to see that.
Well, that's the sickest movie that you never watched. That you don't want to watch.
Probably no, but I'm very sure there are way more sicker films than that. I mean, I watched because I'm always like when it comes to controversial films and scandals and movies, I have an interest in or a kind of an urge to see. It's like Slaughter at Vomit Dolls made big thing like in the underground scene. So of course I had to watch it. Not sure if I'm going to do it again, for example. But as I said, when we talk about these films, it gives some spotlight and credit to films that when I say it's the sickest film, then it puts some spotlight on it, and people probably going to be interested in watching it. So I don't want to see any further names because it's just fucked up films, and I'm not sure if you or I really want to see that.
What's the movie that you always take on tour?
On tour, I always take like new horror films that I haven't seen. Because the bus rides are very boring by now. I mean, in the beginning we always have fun and we talk and we chat and we have like a band meeting in the bus. But then after a while, when you have like a 10 hours drive or whatever, it gets super boring. So I always bring films that I'm excited about to watch, so to distract me from the boring times on the highway. But what I'm always bringing is like Alf, the sitcom.
Seriously.
I love Alf. I'm always bringing Alf with me.
Where's the camera that I didn't bring to look in the camera? Like, what the fuck? I mean, I love also Alf, but I did really expect that. From you.
Yeah.
After we talked about everything.
No, I always bring Alf, and I always bring like 1 or 2 like concert movies or something.
Alf in what language?
Yeah, I used to watch it in German, but now I'm watching that since a couple of years. I'm watching it in English, and it was a whole new experience.
I was about to ask. Yeah, it's probably a different experience.
It's so much better in English because it's way more adulty than it used to be in German. Yeah, the German thingy, also with The Simpsons, they made it more child-friendly.
All the jokes, the adult jokes went
Exactly.
away.
And the English version, especially Alf, sometimes is really like, he's a naughty character sometimes.
Well, his Alf, oh my God.
I love it. It's also like, I don't know, when you're on tour and when you're away from home for a couple of days or something, I'm always getting that kind of state of mind that the little bit of I need some comfy, like
Something that makes you comfortable.
Yeah, or like that reminds you of being a protected kid or whatever. So I'm always going for like old kid movies, like I don't know. I love to have Bud Spencer, Terence Hill films with me, for example.
Yeah.
Because this is my childhood.
Yes, I understand.
Alf, Back to the Future, everything that just gives me the feel-good thingy.
Because the road is a hard...
And then also like if you have like the boys and partying and whatever, and sometimes I'm just getting like a road lonely or whatever you call it.
Well, because most of the time you're alone. Well, you're together with people, but you're alone.
Yeah, exactly. Somehow. And also like you always have to be, I mean, people expect you to be, I don't know, whatever, the singer from the Zombies.
Yes, all the time. All the time.
As soon as
everywhere.
At least in my head, I think I need to be like this as soon as I went out of the bus.
Yes.
So sometimes
just be like that all the time. That's how we look at you.
No, you know what I mean.
But I know what I mean. Yes.
That's why I like the whole the things to watch that makes me very much comfortable, just to release the stress. And as I said, I'm always nervous. It doesn't matter how many shows we have played, I'm always nervous. And on the bus rides, I'm already getting nervous. Sometimes the bigger the shows, the worse it gets. So Alf and Bud Spencer and stuff is
comfort films.
It's calming me down, yeah.
What are the best movies featuring rock musicians? Horror. If not horror.
Yeah, I know. No, but there are many.
Yeah,
but I think Trick or Treat, Ragman. It's one of my favorite films in general, and it has Ozzy Osbourne and Gene Simmons in it. So
Ozzy Osbourne is a preacher, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's with
Besides the Alice Cooper films,
it's a classic. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like I'm not sure if I get the movie right, with my head. So the new modern classic, or maybe like some good movie that you saw like recently. I mean, we already discussed it some, but maybe something that really like influenced you a lot.
I really love the Chucky series.
The new one.
I've not seen it. Yeah, the series.
Another series that fucked me up in a child, because when I saw the Chucky, I was afraid even to look at him.
And then, I mean, I love Chucky. And I'm digging the whole franchise. I have to say, there was
I agree.
Not
That's really good.
There was not many films that I was like, meh. So, of course, favorites are part 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, Bride of Chucky 2. But in general, it was all good. But the series that Don Mancini made, that blew my hand. That's like, okay, if that would be the movie, it's the best one of them all. And because I've never thought that this can happen, that they really take it to a level where it's all films are connected, everything makes sense, but it's not cheesy, and it has like a subplot that is really interesting, and now I really love it. That was one of the most impressive things to me in the last 2 years, I would say, that I've seen.
I mean, the original Chucky, as I said, like fucked me. It's like, I mean, there are a lot of things that fucked me up, but Chucky one.
That was also one of the subgenres that I always like, doll horror.
I feel like, oh my god, don't.
I'm not scared of puppets at all. No, I have like puppets in my living room and in my bedroom and stuff too. I don't care about that.
I still hear voices, man.
No.
The movie that will probably will give you a phobia. In my case, it was arachnophobia.
Nah, I'm not so scared of. I'm not a huge spider fan. I have respect and stuff.
I also have respect, but please, away from me.
Nah, did not give me any phobia.
Clown phobia, height phobia. Is there like a horror movie?
I have a height phobia, but I can't remember any film that would.
Is there a movie like regarding height phobia? We need to check it out. I'm not sure.
I'm very sure. Of course, there are always like scenes when.
Well, scenes, but maybe like a movie.
Maybe there could be a cliffhanger or something like this. But
it was from Scary, yes.
But
I saw there's like a movie sometime, recently. There's like something about the antenna or something. There's somebody at antenna. Never mind, I don't know. Or maybe at some skyscraper.
I think a film like Buried.
Oh yes,
can get a little bit into you.
Yeah, I agree.
I think everybody would feel uncomfortable if you're locked into a coffin.
We need to tell the people the bird is like one location shoot in a coffin.
Yeah,
Welcome to hell.
One person in a coffin, buried alive.
Best Hammer movie.
Oh, that's so tricky. I remember that and I was like, oh damn it.
Yeah, but it's like I'm surprised nobody asked you. I mean, there's so many. There's like 230 plus new ones.
No, there are not that many Hammer films. No.
I think there are like a lot.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, depends how when you start to count. I don't know.
Yeah. True. I would say from the classic period, from the 60s to the mid 70s.
Okay, everything, right?
Okay, then
the best Dracula.
I would say everything.
Okay, the best Dracula.
Taste the Blood of Dracula, maybe.
Taste of Blood. Best actor.
Christopher Lee.
It's
everything. When Christopher Lee or Peter Cushing is in it, I'm.
And you have tattoos, right? You have tattoo of all of them, right?
Yes, I have a hammer tributing on my back going on. It's like 10 horror films on my back. There's nothing that can calm me better, or like it's just like being Sunday morning still in bed watching a film and then watching Chris Lee, Pete Cushing, or Oliver Reed or Vincent Price just doing their job. Nothing is better than this.
That's how drug addicts describe heroin. But don't do drugs, kids. Watch Hammer movies because they're amazing. Because especially the colors, the style.
Yeah, I love the colors. Also, like the blood is too red. It looks more like wax already. The kind of innocent, but still for that time, nudity a little bit, or a little bit the sexual thing that's going on from nowadays on, it's very innocent, but that's very charming. It's like, ooh, it's a little bit sleazy, but no, it's not really, but it was at this time, it was a little bit sleazy. And the actors really can play, and they play like in a way you don't do that anymore. It's more like a theater acting.
Well, it's all British, almost.
Yeah,
all British actors.
Yeah.
The theater actors.
Yeah, exactly. It's very much, of course, it's overacting, but in a cool way. And I like the whole thing that the Gothic thing, like the time where it took place. It's always great to see the clothes and the buildings and whatever. It's like, wow, awesome, and the beautiful Technicolor.
Technicolor is amazing. All right, the most important movie to watch on Halloween.
Probably Halloween.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you played the music from the Halloween 3 during your shows, right? Yeah. And before I knew that, I wanted to put this music in this podcast on this episode because it's amazing. And Season of the Witch is your favorite Halloween movie, right?
The third one?
Yeah.
The first one, second one, and third one are my favorite ones. But I think I like the third one a lot. But they should have titled it in a different way.
It's not a Halloween movie. It's Season of the Witch.
Exactly.
Maybe even not that.
have been better. But I mean, I totally understand the reason why John Carpenter wanted to go that direction, but it was a little bit too late. Michael Myers was so popular already, and people loved that character. Yeah.
Another movie that fucked me up, Season of the Witch, when the kid like falls down with the mask. Seeing the kids die and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah, but I think Halloween without a Halloween film. I mean, from
of course,
the franchise,
of course. You know, and each time you watch a movie with John Carpenter, he's like, "Well, I don't know, like, whatever you want, man. Yeah, we just made a movie. I don't care."
I love him. You know, I've been at the horror convention once, and there was a guest there, like signing stuff.
I can imagine.
And I wanted to have. There was the horror convention where John Carpenter was invited as well. He was there too, and he was performing, and he was doing the
music.
Sound. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
And I did not ask for any money. I said, I'm just blessed when I'm allowed to be there, but I want to have tickets for that show, John Carpenter, and I want to have something signed from him.
Yeah.
And that was my fee.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fine. And then I was there, and then there was like an insane long line. People waiting to get into where John Carpenter is doing the signing thingy. And I was standing there for like 2 hours already, and I had to go back to my merch stand already. It was like I can't stand here all day long. And then a lady who was like security there, she already told me, because I had like VHS tapes with me to get signed. No, you can't bring them. John, he's not signing anything that you bring with him. You get an already pre-signed card. And I said, okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. Fuck it. So I sold my ticket to someone who wants to go there. So I went back to my stand. And right on that evening, after the whole thing was gone, guess who passed by and stood at our shop, because we had the Horror Fans Against Racism shirts and stuff hanging there? John Carpenter with 2 securities, and I got my things signed, and I did not pay anything for it.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice. That's a mic drop. That's it. Oh, that's amazing.
That was awesome. Yeah.
This was amazing.
But it was, I would not have thought that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he just passed by. Got interested, took a look on our stuff.
How was it? Cool?
I was super nervous. Not as nervous as Alice Cooper, but I was very nervous. And it took like 5 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
Just, can you sign it? And he signed me one thing.
And how was he?
Super nice.
Super nice.
Yeah.
Professional.
Yeah, I would say so. But he was surrounded by 2 or 3 securities, and they really tried to...
He was relaxed in that case.
No, they tried to get him moving, because I think he was performing then a few hours later. Yeah, but it was cool.
That was cool. Oh man, that was cool. You have somewhere here, right?
It's hanging outside there. It's
all right. I just want for people to hear that it's in. We can feel the presence.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here. It's like in the freaking museum of all the memorabilia here. I've never seen anything like this. So, oh my god. All right, let's go quickly down. The most stylistic movie.
I would say the Alien franchise. Because I mean, it's Giga. It's the art of Giga. The designs, it can't get anything better.
Before and nothing after.
Before, no, stylic. I love the style of like Frankenstein.
Yeah,
it's iconic, and the whole Universal horror films from the 30s. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari is like,
oh yeah, that's some heavy
masterpiece
stuff.
When it comes to art. Nosferatu, the style is amazing, and that's why we still talk about those films 100 years after they were made. Sometimes it's like, you can't beat that. But also, like, I think a lot of the 80s thing, like Pinhead, the style, the makeup and how he's designed is amazing. The whole leather, a little bit bondage, sexuality thingy going on there. I think we will know also, like, in 100 years from now, and you still will know who Pinhead is.
It's iconic.
The style is iconic. Freddy Krueger as well, the makeup, but he's not as stylistic as Pinhead.
Still iconic, but not stylistic. Yeah, I agree. Okay, the most original movie, it's really different movie, like really different, something like really different.
Like a non-horror film.
Probably horror film, that's what I meant. I mean, for me, it was like It Follows, for example, right? It's so, okay, the idea is so cool. It's not a monster. Oh, well, it is a monster. I mean, if not, then it's fine also.
No, I just need a moment to think about.
Yeah,
it's
you're
really
mentally going through your
outstanding.
database of all the...
There's a film called. Oh, damn it! What's the original title?
Just say it's any title, and we'll figure it out.
Im Augenblick der Angst.
Okay.
It's with Zelda Rubinstein,
Okay.
the little actress from Poltergeist.
Okay.
She's in that one. And that's a really weird kind of film. Also, like it's very psychological and psychedelical. It's a lot about visual effects too. That's very different, I would say. I like that one. Suspiria, I think, is very different.
The old one or new one?
The new one, actually. I love
the new one
old
is really cool.
I love the old one, but the new one is heading into a completely new direction. It's also one of the films that is stylistic, very interesting.
Definitely, music-wise, the actors stuff, you know, like with everything, with Tilda Swinton and all the stuff, like really cool stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a favorite? Okay, we talked about subgenres. It changes all the time. Okay, let's go to the next one. Best unknown must-watch movie. People that don't know about, but you have to watch it.
That's definitely the one that I was just talking about with Zelda Rubinstein.
I will check it out for sure.
Popcorn that I really can recommend. I like a lot. There's a kind of newish werewolf film called Late Faces. It's about a blind man fighting against a werewolf.
Oh,
it's great.
Oh,
I like that one a lot. But there are many films that I think they're very much underrated and
Have you ever made a list and posted it online?
No.
It's not your thing, right?
No.
All right.
No. I mean, I like talking about it in if someone really asks me in person, but I'm not I'm social media or whatever I think that my opinion is so important that I got to tell it to the world. No. I know what I like, and it's fine with me. I already had the pleasure to watch it, so find it yourself.
I would recommend you to make a whole list and just have it for the limited edition book. All right. The movie with the best soundtrack.
Exorcist. No, maybe not. But it's very high up. No, I love Mike Oldfield's Debut to the Bells. I love that one. But
Jason 6.
When it comes to songs, though there are a lot of films. Definitely Ragman, Trick or Treat, Fast Way, the soundtrack. I love that. But I was more thinking about score, like composed soundtrack things. Then I would say Jaws is very much high up there. John Carpenter in general, I love his scores. I really, really like the Necromantic soundtrack.
Yes, I was thinking
thingy.
I was actually thinking like for this episode, should I put Necromantic music or the Season of the Witch music? I need to decide later. Yeah, but Necromantic, I also checked it out. Yeah, it's unusual.
Yeah,
so completely.
And it's just beautiful music. Something that I really like to listen to also when I'm home.
Okay, you don't like to go to the cinemas, but if you do, which movie would you like to watch or rewatch or ever wanted to watch? In a big screen in the cinema without people. Fuck the people.
No, I don't care. Cause, I mean, yeah, you're right. I don't like going to the cinemas that much because I'm really getting distracted by other people. But I always sit in front, like the first 3 rows or something, because I really like the big screen. First of all, I don't want to have people around me, and I really like the big screen thingy. So I'm going to cinemas when the classic popcorn blockbuster things can be from Guardians of the Galaxy to whatever, things that I would not watch at home, but in cinema they are fun. But then it needs to be like big, where you have to move your head to follow the screen, kind of. And horror films I rather watch at home because people can really destroy the experience to me. Because as I said, I love getting scared. It does not happen so often, and sorry, I can't speak anymore. It definitely.
We're almost done, man. It's okay.
Definitely doesn't happen if people making noise around me, because then I'm already out of the film again. You know, I love watching horror films on my own. No one else in here. Dark in the night. Then I get the feeling.
I can't do that. I'm afraid. I'm such a sissy. I can't do that. I'm so afraid.
I love that.
Even like for preparation of our talk, I watched some of the movies that I promised myself that I will watch, and I didn't, and I was doing that. And I was like, okay. I mean, the movies are really good, but I'm like, I have nightmares already.
But then it's not your thing. It's totally fine. I mean, for me, it gives me pleasure. So I really love doing that. But as I said, it does not happen if someone distracts me. As soon as someone starts talking or giggling or whatever, they fuck up the film to me.
Okay, best movie to watch together with friends. Fun stuff.
With the boys, we always go for like Austrian comedy and stuff because we all have a love on this one.
Just comedies or horror comedies?
No, Austrian. There are not so many Austrian horror films. Really comedies.
Horror comedies, definitely not so much. Not so many.
No, more the comedy thing is because, as I said, it's always me picking the films, and I would not watch something that I really want to see, like a horror film, when we want to have fun all together.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Maybe sometimes like Ragman or so. This is because this is a film that we all watched when we were kids, so we already have seen it a couple of times.
All right, the best movie to watch to cure the hangover, if it's ever possible.
Hammer horror and Vincent Price movies.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I will watch it tomorrow.
And Alf.
And Alf. You know, like after this, I will check out Alf in the original.
Do it. It's awesome.
I love it. The best reimagining of an old idea. So, for example, a remake of a Mummy, for example, or a remake of a Dracula, or maybe some old concept that was like done really well. And I will also think about it.
I really like the three episodes Dracula film. Was it the BBC who was doing that one? It was a Netflix thingy then, I think. It was 3 parts. The third part was not good, but part 1 and part 2 was really awesome. It was basically the classic Dracula story, but really done well, and they somehow made it that every iconic Dracula appeared in that character. So he was developing somehow, and he looked a little bit like Bela Lugosi, and he looked a little bit. At first, he looked a little bit like Max Schreck, then like Bela Lugosi, then like Klaus Kinski. So you could see all those iconic Draculas. Do you have not seen it?
No, never heard about it. Okay, must check out.
I think that when it comes to the classics, I think they really did it well to make the whole.
Is it recent or no?
A couple of years ago, maybe.
Okay, I'll check it out.
I can check, but I think it was BBC production. Only the first 2 parts. The third one was just checking, but I think, yep, BBC.
All right.
It's a Netflix production, and he looks like. As I said, sometimes they made him look like Bela Lugosi, and he looked like Christopher Lee. They even had like the same scene, like the camera angle, the light, everything was exactly that shot that we all know from a Hammer horror film. So that I really like because it was like a fan pleaser. They really tried to make every vampire horror Dracula fan to be, oh, that's good. Also, what is great is what we do in the shadows. That's also a really good turn on the vampire genre.
So that was Dracula 2020 BBC production.
Yeah.
And what we do in Shadows, yes, it's amazingly, it's a new way of looking at stuff of the vampire idea. That's really cool. Okay, we already talked about it, but still, like, best movie to watch on VHS, the Necromantic, you said?
I would say Necromantic.
Okay, best Christmas horror. Oh my God, I wrote that shit out.
There are a lot of Christmas horror films.
Black Christmas.
But I think the best one is Gremlins.
Yes, true. Another movie that fucked me up. That's the whole thing between us. You know?
The Silent Night, Deadly Night, and the Don't Open Till Christmas and stuff. They're all because they are special because they're Christmas horror, but they're not that good actually. But Gremlins is
evil.
It's a good film, and No, I like that one a lot.
The scariest part in the Gremlins is when she tells the story about her father being stuck in them.
And Rare Exports. I'm so sorry. Just need to. Get
the expert.
Rare Exports.
Rare Expert, the Finnish one.
Yeah, I really love that one.
That's cool.
That's a great Christmas horror.
What about Krampus?
Yeah, I was okay.
Krampus was cool.
It was cool. I had even higher expectations because the poster looked so great.
Yeah, true that.
But it was a good film, definitely. I liked it.
The sound production was amazing.
Yeah. But Rare Exports was even better, I would say.
I mean, I wrote Best Video Nasty. It's like a series of British horror movies banned in the 60s, 70s, I think. But you're the only person I can ask this question.
I even have a whole documentary about the Video Nasties, like a double DVD thing.
Yeah. So it's like the background is like in what was it, 60s?
I would go for the Cannibal Holocaust because it was the one that's like the most
banned the most
iconic and the banned the most. Cannibal Holocaust or Cannibal Ferox.
Okay, the guilty pleasure movie.
There are a lot. I already mentioned Alf, which is not a movie, but
yeah, it's pretty guilty pleasure. Didn't expect that.
I'm not ashamed.
Me neither, but I didn't expect.
I love a film, a German comedy. I actually have a lot of guilty pleasures because, as I said, I watch
rom-coms. I love rom-coms.
No, but I love like old German or Austrian comedies. So I can really go for like the whole Thomas Gottschalk and stuff films. There's a German comedy which is really bad, but I don't know why, but I really loved it. And I watched it so many times. It's called Gib Gas, ich will Spaß. It's with Nena. Nena, 99 Red Balloons.
Yeah, I know.
Nena and Markus. It's like the whole NDW, Norddeutsche Welle thingy. It's from the early 80s. You have like some punk kiddies in there too. And it's a love story of two runaways. And it's all like music clips in it. And it's so cheesy. It's so insanely cheesy. But I don't know. I love it. It's really a guilty pleasure because it's a really bad film. Really bad.
All these movies are going to your Wikipedia page. Somebody will put it in.
Yeah.
The funniest movie.
Oh.
Well, that is hard. I know.
That's really hard.
I don't even think.
Like horror comedies or just in general?
What's easier in this case? In this case.
As I said, I love Bud Spencer, Terence Hill comedies.
Done. Because it's hard to.
I always loved the Police Academy and Naked Gun films.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah. I like some old Eddie Murphy stuff like the Golden Child.
Golden Child, all that shit. I mean,
Howard,
good stuff.
Howard the Duck.
Oh my God, that's your guilty pleasure, right there.
Yeah. When it comes to 80s, I'm always like, I mean,
I wrote best trashy movie, but it can be anything. It's
no. What the best one?
Trashy.
Trash film. Oh, I would definitely go for some trauma films. I love trauma.
Oh, true.
So like Toxic Avenger or Class of Nukem High.
What about like Killer Tomatoes? Classic.
Killer Tomatoes.
That's boring.
It did not do so much to me, to be honest.
I mean, it's just a joke movie.
I don't even have it, and that says a lot.
Oh, okay. That says a lot. It couldn't be on your Wikipedia page. Doesn't have Killer Tomatoes.
I don't have it, no.
Not even part 2. Yes. All right, and the last one. Best for a date night. And these questions were in order of importance, so it's not really important, the best date night.
I would not watch a horror film for date night, because then I want to watch it. And
I did it once, and especially me, like freaking out.
Because, as I said,
it was not working out.
Okay. No, I would not go for a horror film. Maybe for a horror film that I already have seen.
Yeah.
But if I don't have seen it, then it will not work out for a date.
I was freaking out, and I was like a CC, and it's like it's not. It's like.
No, I would more go for like a. I don't know. Maybe some Magnolia is a film that I used to watch. It came to my head because I had a date on that film.
Okay, that's a good example. Yeah. All right. I mean, I've been torturing you for more than 3 hours already, like officially. It's the longest podcast I've ever done in my life.
You're gonna regret it when you have to edit the whole thing.
I will drink some beer and I will go through it, power through tomorrow. But the last question I always ask is actually not the question, is a thing. Like, give us the Bloodsucking Zombies of From Space song that is a good introduction that I will put in the end of the episode that we can hear it.
This ain't no Halloween costume.
Children and what music they make, and from then on we followed this sinister path. Now we would not want it any other way. 'Cause among the undead we feel safe, with blood in darkness, cold embrace. This ain't no Halloween costume. This is our life 365. We raise our fists into the breeze. This is our anthem to all freaks. We are the odd ones your parents warned you about. We're as twisted as the clothes that we wear. We're disciples of horror, eccentric and strange, and we love being scared and we scare. We've been bullied and beaten and dissed. You started this fight, but we won't let you win. This ain't no Halloween costume. This is our life 365. We raise our fists into the breeze. This is our anthem to all freaks. We're faithful to monsters, they're patron saints and gods to us. We're like them, they're like us. Devotion's carved into our hearts. This ain't no Halloween costume. This is our life 365. We raise our fists into the breeze. This is our anthem to all freaks. This ain't no Halloween costume. This is our life 365. We raise our fists into the breeze. This is our anthem to all freaks.
Thank you, Bloodsucking Zombies from Outer Space, for this great song. And thank you very much, that Richy Gein, for this awesome talk. And thank you, dear listener, for staying till the end. I rewatched The Exorcist. Yes, it is a damn good horror film. Everything is amazing about it. And I also rewatched one episode. And yes, it is a really good, feel-good TV show. Anyways, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you again. Don't forget to follow the show on Spotify, and if you like what you're hearing, rate the show on Spotify, Apple, or any other podcast platform that you prefer. Check out the Patreon page, write a review, leave a comment on Instagram. Anyways, alright, wish you all the best. Until next time, bye.